Right, welcome everybody. This is our workshop. At the board members' request, we are switching the agenda. So we are having the ECAN annual plan first, and then after that, we will have the council annual plan. So we start with the ECAN annual plan, and can I ask?
Just there's a couple of apologies.
Oh, yes,
Debbie
right.
Mora for absence.
Apologies from Debbie Mora and apologies also from Tyler and from Andre, and then lateness from Sarah. Okay.
Is that for the 4:31 or just for the 4 o'clock one?
For the four,
Okay.
well, they don't know
It
that
doesn't matter.
it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Okay.
yeah, we only
with
decided
it.
right now.
Interesting.
Moved by Helen and.
Oh, don't need to.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, we'll just record them. All right, so.
We don't know.
If I can just ask Faye to run us through our, through this submission.
Okay, so we're here today to work out what we want to submit to the ECAN annual plan. I just provided everyone with a draft of the ECAN online feedback form, and I have received some feedback in respect of that I've added into what I think is the appropriate place on the form. So what you see above you is the black writing is the form itself. The blue writing is what Cody has added as thoughts, I think. There is a little bit of black italics that are my suggestions, rewording, and there is some green feedback down the bottom from Helen. That's the only feedback I've received to date. But
You've had mine, haven't you?
yep,
Yeah, the
green writing.
Just sketched out, yes.
Green text.
Yeah.
So
Right, okay.
that's in our iPad. Did we? Get
I haven't sent it.
Okay, so we have it up on screen.
Yeah, I haven't sent it once. It's worked on, but
Mhm.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to, Cody. Do you want to go through what?
Go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, I may not have even put your feedback in the appropriate place. It's just where I thought it should go.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And
But
thank
just
you.
Go through.
Yeah, thank you, Faye, for your help putting this together as well. So I have put together most of this. Look, thematically, I guess the issues that we're experiencing in Hornby at least, predominantly relating to the land use, the environment, and that's things like air quality, odor, and also public transport with challenges around funding. Helen's added in a separate section here about water, which we'll get to in a moment.
Water, and that's the one I think, I'd like to discuss Ravensdown,
Yeah.
but other than that,
Okay.
I'm fine.
So I guess I've just deleted it.
With the air quality, it's not just odor, it's also dust, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So, I mean, the context for ECAN is that the West and Southwest keep growing. It's a major industrial and employment area that brings opportunities and also challenges for us that can't manage within council or community board. So in terms of the environment, we recognise the significant impact that the industry and business brings to the area. But the challenges that we're facing around this relate to quarry, there's waste processing, there's other heavy industrial operations as well. And that's not just Hornby, it's Yildhurst, Templeton, Islington as well. Key concern is around, sometimes we've heard about heavy vehicle routes. Sometimes they get made, at least as far as I can tell, in isolation. And that really shifts some of those impacts away from, let's say, Templeton, and then the create an issue in Hornby as well.
Yeah.
Air quality issues are just noted here, Ravensdown. There was previously, to my understanding, some like electronic monitoring of the air quality. And from what I can find, that was actually uninstalled a number of years ago with the belief that these issues, were kind of behind us. The number of phone calls that I get about air quality issues in Hornby suggests it's not behind us,
Yes.
or at least it's not anymore. And so I guess one of the asks that we have here is investigating the use of continuous air quality monitoring technology, and as well also the resourcing within ECAN to respond to those air quality and odor complaints, especially outside of business hours. And that's an interesting one because they actually don't, as far as I'm aware, respond to any air quality issues outside of standard business hours, and that's problematic because that's actually when people tend to notice it the most. If you're indoors at work, you know, you're not going to notice it always, although I've heard anecdotally, sometimes people in Woolworths and the Wendy's, Harvey Norman shops, particularly by the entrance, you can smell it.
Almost tasting something.
And you can taste it. And actually some people experience issues with breathing as well. Noting also, you know, there's some issues with Prime Environmental, although I acknowledge that they've taken significant work to mitigate those effects and they've been really open with the community, which is great. Not great that it happened. And I guess that comes back to the coordination and the cumulative effects that we talk about with regards to ECAN, because these things don't just happen in isolation. When people are experiencing this, they're actually experiencing many different things at once, and that sort of accumulates in the person towards the stress that they're facing. And I hear that when people call me as well.
One of the things we would I guess, highlight to ECAN is we want timeliness in their response and monitoring.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly the industrial residential interface is a big one to also come out. And we're not sort of seeking to prohibit the industrial activity, but actually just really considering, you know, amongst all of these things, it's not just the transport, it's not just the air quality and everything else, it's actually substantially changing some people's enjoyment of how they're living now. And I guess an example of that would be Marshes Road, what that might look like in 5 or 10 years. For those residents who've previously enjoyed rural living and now something quite different.
Facing potential heavy industrial.
Yeah, quite literally in their backyard.
Well, no, not just their backyard, their front yard as well.
Yes, well,
Affects Templeton too, doesn't it?
it does, yeah. We talk about the growth pressures in the area, and that's, Marshes Road. And then I guess lastly, public transport as well. So we acknowledge, you know, ECAN's actually, and I apologise, I haven't actually circulated that all with this board. They provided a substantial amount of information to me actually to give me some assurance that the work that they're doing around public transport will actually help us in Hornby. However, the funding constraints surrounding this mean that we're likely to see you know, disruption, congestion in public transport, you know, for at least another year. And we'll hope to see in next year's draft GPS that there will be some funding, but we have to wait and see. So one of the things I'd just like to call out especially was Yaldhurst residents had bus stops installed some time ago, at least 5 years ago.
15 years ago.
15 years, okay, right.
Is that not the Colin Stokes issue, is it?
Yes, it's that subdivision. Yes.
Yeah, and so they presented a petition. I know that it went to ECAN. Pretty sure it came to our council, at least.
Their current chair was at the meeting with us.
Correct, and I've got the photo of that if you want to drop that in there as well.
He knows all the
And so I'm really conscious that, you know, the pressure from rates and the funding available is limited.
Yeah.
So
I would suspect that most ratepayers from ECAN for that Route 1 and 5 uplift would probably be okay with the very small increase in rates to cover that uplift. So that was something we'd like ECAN to consider.
okay.
But that might actually be something that
And it's the first time that I remember that they've got their rates under Christchurch rates. So in the past, Christchurch rates have been 6%. They've always been 8%.
Yeah.
And it's hidden somehow. But
So they've achieved a balance.
they have achieved it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they call it a balanced budget, right? It's in the LGA.
Yeah.
And it has to do with how finance and are managed. And they've achieved that by cutting public transport.
yes,
Oh, have they? Oh,
They have.
which
that's
is
a bit.
not a good outcome for us.
It's not really the full story. I mean, the government's also cut their contribution to it. And so ECAN would usually match their contribution 50-50.
Oh, I see. So
The option you spoke about before, Mark. So ECAN's actually at this stage looking like they will go out with 3 options. So they'll give residents that choice to have their say around if people want to have a targeted rate, something to that effect.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm proposing here, so we've got a Route 125 and 145 goes along State Highway 1, north to south. There is an opportunity there to actually reroute one of those
Services.
through Yaldhurst to serve residents, the same as what they're actually proposing to do
Or
in Aranui.
Aranui, yes.
So
And with that, rerouted, it also may give the opportunity to give a service to Maratiki
Mhm.
as well as Hillcrest.
That's true. Yeah. So there would be a low cost, low risk option, but I'm asking ECAN if they would explore.
Yes.
The other thing I'd like to point out as well is that Yildhurst residents on the addresses that I check pay more than $300 a year towards public transport that they don't receive.
Yes.
Now, if you live in a slightly more rural part, just a couple hundred meters, a kilometre away, you will not pay $1 towards public transport.
Yeah.
And these people are paying for it to not receive it.
Yes.
So the other thing I'm also asking is if ECAN's not prepared to do that rerouting, do they actually consider maybe actually not charging for that service?
Yeah, a target list rate is a refund.
Mm. Yeah. One of the things that's highlighted in here is maybe being out of scope. So I have some concerns about the current rough proposed rapid transit route along Main South Road. There's a couple of reasons for that. I guess one is proximity to Ravenstown. We don't want to exacerbate or really promote, air quality and odor issues for residents in that area.
Mass rapid transit.
Right, and Ravenstown, I understand, did ask for a setback, and I don't think that they got that setback.
They did.
I think they did, yes. That's my recall of it.
If they didn't get their setback, there'd be high density along the southern side of Main South Road.
Oh, they did.
Yes, they got it.
And I
Right.
spoke to the
Yeah.
CEO of Ravenstown,
Okay.
and we were on the same page at that point.
Yeah.
And we weren't listened to,
Mhm.
but they were.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's
That's
actually
my recall.
there's actually one good thing that came out of PC14 then, Helen. So,
So if you're looking at potentially Amy's,
Mm.
Springs
So
Road.
yeah, so not
Makes
suggesting a specific route. What I'm saying is that I have a concern that if that's not where we're zoning for housing, and there is those concerns, then is that actually the most appropriate area? Because we're about to start that designation process.
Yeah.
And once we designate it, you can't easily
change
undesignate it. It's a multi-year, it's a multi-million-dollar process, right?
Yeah.
For us to do that, it's important that we do it right. If we look back 10 or 15 years ago, the number 5, which is our most frequent bus service, used to run down Springs Road and then Amy's Road. So this is very important for us to consider. When we also consider that, very shortly, we'll have to decide what Amy's Road looks like as part of that renewal.
What bus currently runs down Springs Road to Amy's?
Number 80.
The 80,
The 125.
which goes to Lincoln.
Yeah. Oh, the 80.
So that's it, and it's very infrequent.
Yeah.
And you would have to connect either way to actually get along there.
What you might look at is the number 5, turn off at Springs, down Springs, up Amy's, instead of going along Main South.
Yeah.
125.
Correct. And you'd actually flip that with the 125 and the 5 so that it actually cover the reciprocal. So my thinking with this is we've zoned for housing in a certain area and it's happening. It's probably the most intensified part of Hornby is along Amy's Road and surrounds.
It is.
So what I'm asking ECAN to do is to look at whether that's appropriate or not as part of their network review, which is coming up soon as well. So residents will get the chance to have their say. Again, it's about us ensuring that we get in front of the issue before it actually happens and we've spent millions and then you have to undo it.
And we invest their investment in public transport in the right places.
And Janik Boulevard, can I just check? That's
Yep.
the street they narrowed, isn't it?
Yes.
And they shouldn't have been allowed to, yes.
So it's got 6 bus stops on it.
So
Well, they could have had buses along there.
Yeah.
Down that same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 6 bus stops and there's 0 buses.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we've narrowed it and taken away people's parking
Mm.
and everything else for a bus that never came. That's wrong.
I think it's probably important.
So,
Our council did the infrastructure, they never bought the bus.
Yes.
yeah,
And then-
comment
Yeah.
here, Cody, on that. So the reason that yellow highlighting has miraculously appeared on is I just wonder whether this comment on proposed rapid transit route belongs in an annual plan submission.
It does, because
And
they're
whether it
about
belongs-
to go through their network review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably worth making it there, but the actual designation is with city council. It's the
Yes.
city
Yeah.
council doing the designation,
Yes,
not the region.
yes.
So,
And my
Yeah, okay,
understanding
yeah.
is it's largely
Yeah.
gone through the route. It's largely
Yeah, but
confirmed by the Greater Partnership.
yeah, the
Greater
Great
Partnership.
Yeah.
Partnership,
yes, it might not be the right form.
but it might be worth us raising it within this and in our annual plan as well.
I mean,
Just so it gets on the agenda.
I'm sure that it impacts on what you are asking in regard to bus services. But I just wonder if, have another read of that and see what you think.
Well, I guess, so this is the other thing as well. So if we were to uplift the number 5 as was currently planned, that would actually not serve the most number of households, is what I'm saying. So the MRT, if you're thinking of, I guess, a train or something physical, Faye, that's quite far away, right? It's actually probably 10, 20
Probably
plus
20
years away,
years.
right? One of the steps on that ladder of changes is having frequent services. So it needs to be considered in that context. And I guess the other thing as well is they're actually dropping, I think, $400,000 or $800,000 that would have actually gone towards bus service in Hornby as well. That's other pieces there. But yeah, it may not be the right place.
I mean, I think if you took that paragraph out, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I think it would probably take it out.
Correct.
Yeah, and then we'll do a separate one on the,
Annual plan.
well, it would be the network review comes up.
Well, it is
Same.
network, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
agreed,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Cool. And then the last one, so Helen's put this in, welcome.
Hi.
So Helen's put this one in about water monitoring. Do you want to
Yes.
speak to that?
Water, if we could put something in on water, there's a number of concerns people have about the quality of Christchurch water. And ECAN's role is particularly important with private wells. And they are meant to monitor them with the farmer or the person who owns the private well. So could we just give them a reminder that it's really important to monitor private wells? I haven't put it exactly right, but
Well, I just have got a few suggested words to add to what you said, Helen, said that it reads, the board asks that there be sufficient funding provided to monitor and provide regular monitoring in the region.
oh no, private wells. I'm really concerned. It's not the general water of rivers. I'm particularly concerned about the private wells. Because
In that board area?
yes, in Halswell, we've got them in Halswell
And Hornby.
and further out to Baxell.
Board area.
Yeah,
Put it
Within the board area, I don't mind.
Private
in the board area.
wells
Yeah.
in the board area.
Yeah. Is there actually
There's
there?
largely Halswell.
Springs.
Yeah.
That's
We
Halswell.
have all these springs
Yeah.
in our board area.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's
Board
fine.
area does come.
yeah, private wells, our board area
Okay.
was in
Did I?
this, in this board area.
But in the WHH area, I'll fill it out
Yeah,
later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's good. And I'm fine with those other things. We've covered them, the Ravensdown and air quality's been covered. So that's fine.
Yeah, so Sarah, I guess just to briefly recap, welcome.
Obviously.
So we talked
Sorry,
about,
Cam.
no, yeah, correct. So we talked about the sort of residential industrial interface that's going on. So if you think about Marshas Road, you think about Templeton with
Yep.
quarries and so on.
Highly important, yep.
Talked about that. We've also talked about public transport changes that are happening.
Yeah.
And challenges. We've also talked about land use as well with private land changes and so on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much, I printed off your very extensive submission.
Yes, I know, it was good.
Draft, yes.
It's not yet final.
Okay.
So from here, it'll be circulated to the board. For- for-
Today, yeah.
Yeah, but
But bearing in mind, it's due end of next week.
Mhm.
So,
obviously,
Be quick.
yeah.
just to check that, because, that draft, if we want to answer the other questions, we can leave it blank. We
Mhm.
don't need to answer all the questions.
Yep.
So far, that's what we've got, and
Yep.
so everybody can have a look and and give feedback to Faye by when?
Well, I'll send it out probably tomorrow.
That last sentence was good.
Wednesday,
That last paragraph.
That's good.
you need by Friday or sometime next
Well,
week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll just say Friday.
Yeah,
Put it
Okay.
down, but yeah,
Okay.
that they have asked what aspects of regional council work matter least to you and why. I don't think. I mean, we could put a comment in there like the board considers all
Yeah.
ECAN work to be.
Important.
No, I think we just leave that.
Yeah, I don't think we need to comment on that. There'll be like something they're doing that we want them to
And
stop.
remember in 2 years' time,
I think it'd be important to emphasize that
We
we
think that they're,
Yeah.
what they're doing is important.
but
Yeah.
they may not be there in 2 years, so,
Yeah.
so.
So it won't,
I think while
There's-
they are,
yeah.
work is still important.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Probably bus.
Yeah, that wasn't the question.
they're going to merge, aren't they? There's a mere merger.
Yeah.
Of some
no,
kind.
I values all aspects of weekend work.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's probably good.
Stroke their ego. You see, something else with the public transport that you haven't mentioned
Mhm.
is supply, provision of public transport into the industrial areas.
Mm.
That's been
Yeah.
raised with us as being missing. So if there's any way to speak to that as part of that,
Yeah, I guess the network
Yeah.
review is coming quite soon.
yeah, but if we could raise that,
Yeah.
lack of public transport penetration into the industrial areas. Because that takes away the transport choices for those that live
Yeah,
in
it
the
does.
industrial areas.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. We can put that
Yeah.
in. Yeah, because it's a big issue.
Because we have heard that resident associations and or board.
Yeah.
We've heard that. So
That's a good point.
who we're speaking
Can
to.
I suggest that we wish to speak at the
Yes.
hearing?
Yes.
And can I suggest too that Cody and either the chair or deputy chair present? So that we get one of the official chair people or deputy chair and Cody.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, if questions are asked.
For Marie to decide.
That is-
Yeah.
yeah.
It makes sense for the one that's drafted most of the submission.
Um,
to it.
They're quite nice actually.
Yeah.
To present, nicer than council. They don't have lots of presentations, that's why.
I've been there and spoken to them.
Yeah.
No.
Hello.
Sorry?
Refinements I was thinking
Mhm.
of, Cody, if you're
Yeah.
happy for me to. Yes, we've got placed greater emphasis on cumulative effects assessment. I think we need to be clear that it's
It's really steering into
on
the,
ambient
integration of
quality, so it's not, I mean, they control
Mm.
the effects of individual
Mm.
discharges by the resource consent conditions. But what we're talking about here is sort of some monitoring of the ambient air quality so that they're capturing the cumulative
Yeah.
effects that are,
Almost an airshed
yes,
type.
yeah,
it is, yeah.
yeah.
I think that's
There
what,
were a number of years ago, there was some thought around establishing an airshed around Yorkhurst.
Okay.
Particularly to monitor the quarry.
Okay.
Um,
What would that involve?
Basically a monitoring station
Okay.
or two.
Yeah.
And it creates an airshed that
Yeah.
then must be around certain levels or below.
Yeah, well, they've got 400,000 left that they didn't spend in Hornby, so
Yeah.
what's a couple of sensors?
There was a huge, can I ask a question of the Hornby people? There was a huge meeting a couple of sort of elections ago, just before, where we had ECAN commissioners and about 80 people out in the quarry area, and they were really angry.
Mm.
And the commissioners didn't really handle it well. So has that anger gone about quarries, or
No,
is
I think
it still there?
It's still there.
It's still there.
It's just a more silent frustration as people are now resigned to live.
Just resigned.
Yeah.
There was a meeting, Dion and Craig Pauling were at a meeting with residents a couple of years ago at the Hornby Library,
Okay,
and there was still very
Still that
strong, like,
frustration. Yeah.
with the health concerns that people have had,
know.
issues.
And they had specific issue. People could say, look, I've got this and yeah. Okay, so it's still there.
It's still there.
Okay.
If you go to the Yieldhurst Rural Residents Association, it's still there.
Okay. I remember that meeting. It was huge.
let's see what I've done, Cody, you think.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
And then the next one down, improve coordination of community board regarding vehicle movements and routes. I'm not quite sure what you're asking for. I just want to, because I think those vehicle movements are controlled under the resource consent.
Is that-
Like the
is that-
quarries, say
Heavy
they.
vehicle movements rather than just vehicle movements.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, it is,
Yes.
yeah.
and the vehicle movements associated with the activity, like the
Yeah.
quarry.
Quarry.
And they say you've got to take this road and you can only have an excess of this.
Mm.
Yeah.
They have been quite good with that, actually. Haven't, all they have no.
But how many quarries are there?
The last quarry was detailed, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
In terms of routes, that traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but then we have to mitigate the effects afterwards, that's all I'm
Okay,
saying, so
okay.
it's about having that conversation and that understanding before they make their decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But isn't that
Does
the
that happen?
consent?
Is there any coordination that happens with ECAN when they approve these consents? I don't
No.
think there
I don't
is.
think
No,
I think that
But
might,
could there be?
I think it might happen on a staff level.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
expect it
I
does.
think
Yeah.
maybe,
community board,
Yeah.
no.
yes, because, you know, they'll get, as part of a resource consent application, they'll get a traffic monitoring report. And the
Yeah.
And they'll
and the
get
designer
traffic-
will say they've spoken to
And
the,
it'll be
traffic
elected by
advice.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the classic one is the
Yeah.
Ward inquiry.
Yeah.
That quarry was restricted. It couldn't have any trucks going through Templeton.
Mhm.
Yes,
It's not allowed to.
yeah.
It's part of their resource.
So it'll go through staff level.
Yeah.
There will be some conversation there.
So is that an us issue? Possibly.
No,
Mm,
Well, I mean, it's our staff that are having that conversation. That's what I meant.
I'm unsure whether that was a Christchurch city restriction with the vehicle movements or whether that was ECAN.
It'd be land use. It'd have to be council, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, for vehicle movements. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it would be. Yes, it maybe is an us issue. Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, we can take it out then, probably.
I'll put a line through it for now, we'll leave it there.
I was actually doing again that with the Selwyn Council.
Yeah, as well. It's quite specific. I didn't want to get down to that kind of level of granularity because it's not.
Yeah.
What we're trying to highlight here is the themes of
Mm.
the issues without getting into really weeds of operational. Yeah. And I think we can take out that continue working with industry one because we've actually suggested what that looks like in terms of monitoring and enforcement.
It's interesting about Marshes Road because I worked with that area a long time ago in my other job.
Yeah.
And it was then stud farming. I put that through. I mean, there's nothing we can do with this, but it's just a huge shift.
I'm not so sure about taking that.
You know,
That bullet point out, actually, but change from continue working to
Mm.
ensure that work continues to mitigate. Quarry
Mm. you
it's not a
continue
green
work.
belt sort of thing.
Yeah, it would actually just be continue work with
Marshes
industry to
Road.
mitigate those impacts,
Yeah,
affecting those
through
communities.
monitoring and enforcement.
Because that's actually to that end bit where we say what we think is important and not important.
Yeah.
That actually is important that they do that. Yeah.
Effectively by research, yep, I think that's,
Yeah,
I'll unhighlight that one.
it's got a ticket approval.
And then the next one, my concern here was merely around Selwyn.
Yeah.
So we talked about the Selwyn area and the
Yeah.
Selwyn district, just beyond the scope of the board. That was,
Perhaps we put it as the neighbouring. So we identify that it's not us, it's actually our neighbour.
The context of what happened here, Faye, was because they didn't get some of these things granted through us, they actually just went through someone to get it instead. And the impacts of that were actually worse. Because, for example, instead of getting water from Christchurch, they actually send trucks now, send that water in.
Yeah.
So it's actually worse for the environment because you think about how many trucks are moving water. I think they might be using chemicals now as well, which
Don't go.
yeah. So I mean, ECAN's job is to look at the whole area.
The whole region.
yes, but it's whether
Yeah.
we can comment on.
Well, it's impacting our area.
Yeah.
Because of the adverse effect of the decision that they've made is that they've increased.
If these may have implications for communities, yeah,
Mm.
continued coordination. Continued coordination will be important. I'll just take out the,
Yeah, that's fine.
There's coordination between all three, isn't it?
Yeah.
water and management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that's their job.
Sorry?
That's their job.
Yes, it's,
Mm.
and it's a high growth area, the whole thing, Halswell and so on.
It's industrial intensification.
Industrial, I know, industrial and by the residential.
Mm.
It's the same issue as Riccarton, only here it's commercial
Correct.
rather than industrial.
Yeah.
Though there's some industry in Riccarton.
That's from- that was awesome.
There's some risk that this one restates what we've already said.
That doesn't matter. I don't think
No.
that matters.
Yeah.
Has that Marshes Road industrial plan change been
Yeah. I,
notified already?
It's already been consulted. The purpose of this is to give a
This is the
a
problem.
context of a specific example of what happens when all of those effects actually come together on someone's household. And that's what's happening in Marshes Road. Should it go ahead?
I mean, but that private plan changes through the city, not through ECAN. ECAN will come in when there's air quality
Mhm.
and water management down the track.
I mean, you could add something in there along the lines of, without stormwater, both community,
Isn't there a plan for
the
the
board
whole?
requests that ECAN is mindful of this or something like that.
Because there's a whole Canterbury regional land use thing, is
Spatial
there not? Yeah, spatial
I
plan,
think
that's the
it
one.
is in the
Regional.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm highlighting, because it is actually a big chunk
The spatial
that
plan.
they're kind of calling out.
Because actually that'll be quite big as the planning act comes through as well, because there'll be
Yeah.
no new regional
Mm.
strategic planning.
Can't tell me there won't be at least one industrial business in there
Oh.
that's gonna admit something.
Well, look at right next to it.
So have you got a feeling that Marshes Road one could be notified?
Well, at this stage, it's
Environmental.
been notified,
Yeah, it's been
I've been
notified.
notified.
No, it had consultation, it was in January, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it's close, okay.
and they've applied for a heavy industrial.
Heavy enough. Oh.
not
Yeah,
just-
right next to, no, seriously, right next to people's house. In fact,
No,
it
no.
actually rezones their house
Exactly.
as well.
What
Yeah, it rezones their house.
Rezoning all the residential property.
Yeah.
as
on
industrial heavy.
Marshes?
And on Lane South.
And it was done over
It's-
Christmas, so we,
It's a fairly large.
I was switched off, there wasn't,
No.
but they didn't tell us, did they? I keep saying they need to tell us when a private plan change lands. And we need to have a quick look at it.
You can subscribe to it on the Let's Talk website. I get
We,
everything.
we highlighted it to Temple Residents Association, but they've been over it.
Yeah, correct.
Mm.
And as far as I'm aware, they would have submitted.
Yeah.
No, we can.
Do you want them to collaborate with you and the Hornby Traffic Management
Environment.
we study?
Closely with.
All
the
right.
council.
Perhaps you should
So
put that in there.
I'm
If you
not
want,
following.
well,
Who?
as we go forward with the Hornby
Actually, that's something to mention.
Hornby study,
You've got the Hornby local area plan,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's under
yeah,
public
but-
transport.
Yes.
Yeah,
as long as it's there.
Yeah. it originally started as transport and then it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's important they're there, I think, at some
The
point.
top.
Well, they are.
They are on the
Yeah,
buses,
they are.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, but they're considering,
Yes.
they have to consider all of, yeah, the impact.
It's about the first three or 4 meters.
Yeah, it's quite
Mm.
large.
Mm.
Yeah.
Goes all the way along Main South.
Yeah.
Current industrial, heavy industrial.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
Eco gas is right on the boundary.
Yeah.
And we've got a reserve in the middle of that.
Mm.
This is Tim reserves.
Have you ever found that?
Excuse me,
Yep.
the second bullet point.
Mhm.
I was just thinking, so we're requesting ECAN to ensure that environmental considerations remain central when assessing private plan changes and industrial development proposals affecting the board's
There
area.
will be a council.
Assessing private
Yeah,
plan changes.
we would do
the
that.
Council, yes,
Yeah.
we do
Yeah.
that. So we might do.
Yes, that probably needs to fall over into our annual plan
Hmm.
one. Yeah,
So
You have to say it, actually.
yeah, we'll take it out. Yeah.
And the first bullet point, actually, I asked Faye to change, continue working closely with the council rather than the community board.
into a cumulative environmental impact.
And
Yeah, that's
add
fine.
environmental impacts.
That one comes out. Maintaining
Strong engagement. with
Yeah,
business
no,
standards.
I guess they can't
Yeah.
have any
No.
into that either. Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe because that's more of the effects of land use changes.
And this is city
Yeah.
council
It's the effects later that they change.
role function.
Yeah. Well, if they do the job properly, shouldn't be any things.
Yeah, but that's got to do with
Yeah.
the equality.
Okay, we move on to public transport.
I think, so.
I don't think there's anything to
No,
change.
No, so Cody preceded that before, and I think, I've added a couple of little wording, and that's only just to, encourage us.
It's for clarity.
Yeah.
So where it mentions the Route 5
Mhm.
improvement, is that the uplift?
Yeah.
You're talking about
Yeah.
there.
So
Correct,
your
yeah.
request
Is it worth
changes.
mentioning the word uplift in there?
Progress.
Just so it gives it that direct context, or context, or boom, that's it, that's where the uplift.
Yeah.
Hornby Templeton is an area. Investigate a low cost reroute of 125 or 145 via
Jarlac.
Boulevard to provide public transport access to Yaldus residents. Review the areas covered by the urban transport price targeted.
I use the words improvement business case instead of uplift.
Charge for residents without meaningful access to public
Let's
transport.
put brackets after it and uplift.
Perhaps we put
Yeah.
including considering
Yeah.
permitting.
We just change
Considering.
Yep.
the first one, just use the word uplift in there somewhere.
Uplift.
For addressing
Uh,
uplift of Route
I
5.
guess, yeah, after the word improvements towards the end.
Route 5 improvement.
Prioritize the service improvements brackets uplift.
Service.
Yeah.
Service improvements brackets.
Yeah.
Uplift.
Oh, the other thing I was saying to the board before you came here was actually ECAN provided me a substantial amount of information to
Consider industrial.
make sure I wasn't going completely off track with what they're doing. It wasn't that long,
So
an hour, I think.
Took a bit of AI.
Yeah.
Well, if I was marking it, you get.
Oh, good.
Water.
And then we looked at we looked at that before. That was the one that added by Helen.
Helen,
And the board asked that there be sufficient funding provided to monitor and provide regular monitoring of private
water, private water wells.
water wells, yeah.
Water wells, isn't it?
Private water.
Why are we saying to
Water
monitor
wells.
and provide regular monitoring? It's the same thing.
They're meant to do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I
So
think we
take
can
out
take
the-
out monitoring.
Just
Yeah.
to provide,
yeah.
to provide
Sure.
regular monitoring, is that right?
Yes,
Regular monitoring.
Provide
And they're probably
regular monitoring
contaminants.
in the
and to take prompt action when contaminants are found above the legal limit
level,
or above safe
I'd
limit.
just say above safe levels. Yeah.
above safe levels.
Yeah.
Above the appropriate level, is it? Or legally?
Safe, they-
I don't mind.
With safety.
He can talks about safe levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to water.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be able to nitrates.
And we added
Nitrates, yeah, I'm talking about nitrates.
aspects of regional council.
Talking their language.
methods. Right, and we just put board values, all aspects of work undertaken by ECAN.
Yep,
Any additional comments? Well, I
Give us
think
more buses.
we've added the additional comments kind of up above, haven't we, really?
Just say, give us more buses.
And then
Smaller buses in non-peak period. I'd count them when they go past.
summary.
Only got 4 people in
On
them.
to the summary.
Maybe have free buses.
You might only be able to afford to take the bus soon, by petrol prices.
Yes, I know.
Goodness. $3 for diesel and go.
Yeah.
Cumberland Road, apparently.
Still be cheaper to take the bus than it will be to take
Oh,
your own vehicle.
Certainly.
Yeah, yeah.
This is my next
They-
we've changed the bus, but we'll do.
In my view, he won't change his mind, Trump, either.
And
He'll
yeah,
keep going.
some
Bloody minded.
cooperation between.
He'll bring everybody down with him.
Years.
That's my view.
Expansion and urban growth is council.
Yeah, the council.
He can,
So
the greater partnership, so.
yeah, there's 3 but
24-hour pollution hotline.
oh, they still do.
Still
It's
do.
outsourced.
Um,
And I can tell you
Yeah,
that they
that's-
actually don't respond. I've been told by their frontline staff. I've been told by their team leader of enforcement. I've been told by their GM of enforcement that they're not resourced to respond to air quality complaints after hours.
Which is not acceptable.
And then they're
After
patting,
hours.
yeah, and then they're patting themselves on the back about the low rates increase that they're achieving.
Mm.
That's unacceptable
Mm.
because that's their job.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what time of the day that it happens.
Yeah.
If it's objectionable, then they have to do their job.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it.
I and Mike did a presentation ages ago, but it was about on their legal obligations to actually monitor. And please do it. It was quite short, but that's always their weakness. Yes, we'll have to change it once they merge.
So,
They're going to merge, aren't they?
And
Something.
Did you have it?
We'll see.
Does,
Yep.
and is everybody happy
I'll
or?
have a look once it comes out.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
will
pretty.
write it up with these changes that have been discussed.
And are you happy if we have Cody and either the chair or deputy?
We will talk about it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
It's Marie's decision.
Yeah.
She's the
Have
chairperson.
we mentioned in there that we want to be heard at the hearing?
No,
Yeah,
but,
there was in there.
It's
Yeah.
standard.
but we have to move that we present.
No, we don't,
No, we don't.
Why not?
because it was delegated to Marie.
We wish to be
Uh,
heard,
Good,
that's
it was just to be
standard
heard in support of the submission.
That's good.
Sorry?
submission.
It says here, the board wishes to be heard in support.
Oh,
of the
okay.
There, that's a standard for every submission that the board makes.
Okay,
But
Um,
we will decide before we do that.
but you have to decide with everybody,
No,
everybody
no,
having a
no, it
chance
doesn't.
to say
No,
something.
she doesn't. In our first meeting, we
Well,
delegated that.
that's my
to Erin
understanding.
and to Marie.
Anyway, that's,
Sarah and Marie.
yes.
Yeah.
So
The
they,
chair and the chair and Cody, I mean, it's make.
Now,
Sure.
the delegation is between the chair and the deputy chair, so we will discuss it before we do that.
so the other thing is this question.
But though, if we're at a meeting, we aren't at a formal meeting, are we? That's a working party.
This question
We
here
might change it.
is overall, how do you feel about this post? But I'm not sure, I think, so it is, this is a required thing, we've got to put something in here, so we strongly support, not
I
support.
would say we're opposed,
Mm.
because we don't like,
Oppose the
Well, it's actually
proposal.
detrimental.
Post.
The changes that they're proposing is a material decrease from what they've
Understood.
proposed in their long-term plan. The level of service is decreasing.
Yeah.
I can't be happy with that.
So we're putting oppose.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, and then, should we say a bit more?
Is there a comment section?
I think we've been quite clear on what we're asking them to do. There's specific asks that are in there of things that we see that are not being
Or
done.
just oppose, on those specific
Yeah.
points that we've,
And we've also clarified at the end that we're not opposing ECAN, we're respecting the work that they're doing,
Yeah.
but we've got these specific asks, and that's the reason why
We
we've
can
done
put that at the additional
at the
comment.
comments.
Yeah.
But was the question in general?
You could say.
Yeah, it's in general.
We're
The draft plan.
generally opposed to
Mm.
The job.
artificially keep having a low rates increase and yet dropping your levels of service to such an extent. We need the levels of
Yeah.
service to be,
That's perfect.
kept
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Without getting to ridiculous, low
Correct.
rates increase.
Yeah.
A slightly higher rates increase.
So do we want to say something perhaps under 14 then to explain that a bit?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Can we just, sorry, can we just scroll down a bit?
Oh, down.
Yeah, the last sentence there, that we can take that and put that as the additional comments. And then just expand on that.
Yeah.
So we look forward to working with you again, and then that qualifies what we're saying.
Yes, but do you think we need to say something about?
Yeah, correct.
The board opposes
Yeah, yeah.
the changes
That's
to
right.
the level of service perhaps?
We oppose the lowering of level of service
Hmm.
for the sake of having a low rates
Mm.
increase. It would be more beneficial to have a slightly higher rates increase and keep
Mm.
the levels of service to an acceptable
Mm.
level.
It was actually still less than what we were.
They're saying, they're going to say we're
Substantially
doing it
less.
both ways, aren't they?
Yeah, but
Just,
Well, and for instance, the after hours monitoring.
Yeah, maybe-
Thereof.
it might be 0.5%,
Mm.
which will, on an ECAN rate is
Yes, give it- yes.
basically.
Give an example if
Yeah.
you've got.
so if their job is to manage the,
Air quality.
enforcement,
Yes.
and they're not doing it,
Monitoring enforcement.
what's the implication
Well,
of
that's
that?
negligence. They're tasked with monitoring and enforcing.
Hmm.
And if they're not doing their job,
Hmm.
that's not acceptable.
Yeah, that's the gist of what I was getting at.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, are they breaching something by, like,
It's
not,
probably their purpose under the Act, I think.
Well, I don't think we can get into that.
No.
But we can definitely say that we don't think that it's acceptable,
Right.
which is what we're saying in terms of the proposed change, because it's decreasing the levels of.
Because the effects of odour and or dust, dust quality, air
Hmm.
quality, can happen at any time, 24/7,
Mhm.
365. It's
Yep.
not going to be restricted to business hours.
absolutely.
And we need them to be able to mobilise their monitoring or enforcement
Hmm.
at any time
Yep.
to capture.
Because what does that mean? If there's only an odour that's outside business hours and they don't get any record of it,
It's not happening.
there's no,
Yeah, correct. And I've had residents tell me that they don't even call anymore because they know that there's no point turning up. I've had residents suggest that some businesses know that they don't enforce after hours and
But they-
admit because of it.
that's not
It's-
a deal.
Open the valves after hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah, just confirm this additional comment.
Additional comment.
So what I've got then, feel free to I'm just throwing some words in. put in there so while the
Mm.
board opposes the reduced level of service proposed in the ECAN annual plan,
Yeah.
the board looks forward to continuing to work collaboratively with Environment Canterbury to ensure that growth in the area is managed in a way that supports both economic activity and the well-being of local communities.
So just where you've got your cursor,
Yep.
I'll just put a comment there and that'd be fine.
But you're happy
But-
with,
Yeah.
you don't want anything else in there,
I'm
or?
just wondering if we actually mentioned the lack of after hours monitoring and enforcement.
I think it's probably
Use it
worth
as an
outlining
example.
frustration
Yeah.
from the residents, because it's probably not actually mentioned in here.
Yeah.
Do you want to use
There's
it as
a reason that we
Yeah.
oppose it. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Can I
Proposes a reduced level of service proposed, for example, the lack of.
just probably point out, because growth in the area,
Mm.
growth,
Yeah, that
more of council.
it's
but-
more
but
industrial.
Growth, growth in the area that would impact on ECAN's functions,
No, it's industrial growth.
industrial
yeah,
growth.
yeah.
Okay, if we can specify,
Industrial growth and the effects thereof.
and the effects.
yeah.
And
It's the
the,
effects that these guys deal with.
yeah, that's what I want to specify. 'Cause,
Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
industrial and the effects that
That
impact
cause-
on ECAN functions or whatever, or
in fact,
under the ECAN's responsibility, whatever, something like that.
Hang on, I'm just getting this in.
Under
You
the
want to
purview
put-
of ECAN.
Do you want to stress in there that Hornby is the area for industry? I mean, some of them, the farmers mightn't actually know that. You've got an interface between industry and residents, but you are the industrial base for Christchurch, I would say.
That was in the introduction. We didn't talk about that, but that is covered in the introduction. Yeah, yeah.
You should do them.
skipped
Well, they
over it.
mightn't know they're Waimate and,
But the reason I didn't speak to it is because we know that, but it's there for them because they might,
well, you might not want to stress it verbally because
When you say they might not know, you're referring to.
the people who will hear us,
this
yeah,
cause-
whoever will read it will hear from us.
ECAN's too far. ECAN's too big, actually. Stretches too far at
Something
present.
like that.
impacts this.
Timber.
It
environment.
impacts
Is it the environment?
somewhere under council, somewhere
Yeah.
under ECAN.
Marie, is it worth putting the environmental impacts?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
another paragraph,
In their wheelhouse.
we did insert
Mhm.
environmental impacts.
Good.
It's environmental impacts under the purview of ECAN.
It's managed in a way that supports both.
And,
Yeah. With that monitoring, I'd like enforcement as well.
and it's environmental
Air quality monitoring and enforcement.
under the
Mm.
purview of ECAN.
Yep.
Well, if we're really adding to it, we could also say the communication. Why did it take more than 3 months for residents to find out that it was from environmental that was causing some discharge? And again, acknowledging the work that they've done to resolve that.
Mm.
I think a lot of people's stress could have been reduced if they had
Yeah.
known about it sooner, that something was
It's
actually
pretty
happening.
much resolved.
Yeah.
Are you complain?
I haven't. No, I haven't. I've only heard about Ravenstown,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't have taken 3 months
Hmm.
for us to hear from Prime. They might have chosen not to if they were actually not as nice as they have been,
Yeah, true.
if they were a different business,
Yes.
and then we would have known nothing.
Oh,
I mean, it's a failing on ECAN to have actually said something.
so where it's got that after our air quality monitoring.
Yep.
Could we put and enforcement?
Yep.
Because it's the enforcement off the back of that monitoring that.
Mm.
Yes, it's enforcement. It's going out there, isn't it? Like a student party. You actually go out at the time it's noisy
It's good.
rather than the next day it's gone.
Correct, yeah.
Now, the next thing, under 15, I've put in your summary comments, Cody, under there.
Mhm.
Is that the right place for them?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, it's good. I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
The only one I wouldn't mind seeing on that Route 5 improvement is perhaps have it in brackets uplift, that at least has that
Oh,
mention.
Route 5 improvement, uplift.
Business case.
Yeah, be consistent.
Did
with
that.
the other.
Yeah, that was at the body of.
Okay.
Yeah, so I said
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
some of
Sweet.
these we've changed in the body,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we'll bring those down when we see these.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Don't filter through.
And actually, I wonder if it's, have we got a mention in there about not just the Yoldhurst residents, but also the Matatiki? Because that was
Right.
part of that discussion we had
Yeah.
with the residents too, was about
Yeah.
bringing the bus past Matatiki.
Yeah.
And then on to Yoldhurst. Including Matatiki and Yoldhurst at the same
So
time.
where,
That's,
which
yeah.
part, what's this?
Good now.
be in the public
So-
transport sector.
So
Wheelchairs as part.
I'll just say on that one, so the reason why I've singled out Yolhurst
Mhm.
is because one councillor in ECAN's done a notice of motion to look at what they can do for Aranui. I'm suggesting that if, we had an ECAN councillor who would turn up, do a notice of motion for us, they could do something similar for Yolhurst, and that would be low cost, low risk.
Yep.
It's probably better served through the network review though.
And I would still add to that, service to Maratiki and Yolhurst residents.
Do you think it could, maybe it could be done,
Yeah.
but I haven't,
Because it
Thought about that.
ties the two
In detail.
together, that will get
So you're saying
Yeah.
lack of
Both.
public transport
Yeah.
service to Maratiki
Maratiki
and
and Yolhurst residents.
okay,
Maratiki
And-
and put in Hornby Centre.
I'll put in
Yolhurst.
brackets.
Brackets, library and pool.
Hornby.
Hmm?
The
Library and
name
pool.
of
they might not know.
Hornby Library and Pool.
Yeah.
it? Proper name. Hornby. What's the proper name?
Yeah.
What's the full name?
Maratiki Hornby Centre.
Matatiki
Proper
Hornby
name.
Centre.
But does that make sense now? Because it refers to residents
Those would be fine.
And Yolhurst residents.
and Yolhurst residents. Yeah, you're right. We have to read it.
And well, if we're getting to that level, can you just add to Jarnoak Boulevard,
Yeah.
comma Guildhurst?
Jarnoak Boulevard
Yeah.
/ Sir John Mackenzie Drive, because it turns into that halfway up.
Yeah,
It's unusual.
because they won't know where
It's
they are.
really weird. It's the boulevard's meant to be a wide street. It's wide trees, tree line.
Do you know about
That
that?
was a terrible thing.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
You
college.
were there.
No, no,
Yeah, I was there. I got the picture.
Oh, you
But you're
leaving.
Yeah.
no.
No, this is predates that by 10, 15 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Developers.
Developers changed the rules halfway through
So that's why the road,
for that whole subdivision.
Right,
Because it was started off as Jarnac,
yeah,
big and wide,
yes.
and then got sold to another developer and
Yeah.
they down-spec'd it all.
Mm,
to
okay.
very
so
narrow.
halfway down it
Yeah.
reduces and
that's
stuff,
wrong.
loses the
And
berm.
then it reduces completely for the
Yeah.
guy that wanted this. Right.
Yeah. And there'd been an arrangement between the parties too, which the
Yeah.
developer
Yeah.
broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, correct.
That's really good.
Yeah, is it the 145 or 140?
One. Oh, it's the one. No, I think what? Yeah, I'll double check there. I'm not.
Is it the 130 and the 140 that run around that part of the world?
We can,
They can,
Just-
Just check on
okay,
that
it's
detail.
already safe because it's on.
We spent hours on that, didn't we?
When we send out the
Good.
draft, you can-
yeah,
Sorry, it's the 140.
I
Yeah.
bet.
140.
Must have been.
130.
Close.
You can confirm when they.
Yeah,
circulate the
130,
draft.
140, and 125.
Yeah.
Just
I
go-
mean, actually, yes, just
Yeah.
move one of
Those
them.
buses.
No? Anything else? Anybody else wants to add anything? They can finalize this draft and then circulate it tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get back for Friday.
cool.
Okay.
And that's the ECAN annual plan. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And so once Mark leaves, we will move on to the council annual plan.
And you've got my nose.
Do you have any thoughts on the annual plan? Just
No,
No, I'll leave that to you.
no,
leave it to us.
Mark can't. He's a decision maker. He can't.
So-
Mark is a decision maker. He can't do
we
it.
consider his.
You often get informal
No.
comment. The Springs Road Awatere thing's the big thing, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Helen, we can't ask him that.
we can.
What is it? It's a big
Informally.
Yeah.
We
Well,
already know that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Very good, my people. Have a fun rest of your
Thank you,
meeting.
Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Right.
Right, Cody, I'm just going to see if you've done similar
Submission.
draft.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
I have done taken a similar approach and done a draft submission form based on the online form. So which is a series of questions which we will need to work through and answers. There is some input in there that came from Debbie that I've put in there in red for consideration.
did you circulate that one, Faye?
No,
Oh, this, you haven't circulated this?
no, I've
Okay.
just added, I think Debbie circulated it though, her feedback, didn't she? I
Feedback,
think,
yeah. So these ones we're going through one by one.
And in addition, there's some black italics there, which is actually me, just
based on our.
Based on what previous feedback the board has given,
Yeah.
I've put some suggestions in there as what you might want to include.
Would there
but-
be any rollovers or carryovers from our previous submission?
Yes.
What do you mean, Ryan?
That's,
That
or
some of
that-
what
Yeah.
Faye has put in are those things.
are those
Oh,
things,
yeah.
all right, okay, yeah.
You know, that they
That we
submitted.
mentioned before that we reinforced.
Oh, yes, that we've
We-
said,
yeah.
yes. So for example, I mean, we'll get down to this, but I've said the board area experienced significant growth and that we're continually hearing from residents, particularly about transport issues, flagging that the board is likely to seek funding of the long-term plan for a number of named projects there, and
Yep.
then said,
Have you put this out, Faye?
No, no,
No, you just now.
we're discussing right now first.
in the meantime, the board considers it's important for the capital program to include sufficient funds to allow for possible interim measures to be taken to improve. You know, so even if the board is asking for long-term funding for signalisation and significant projects,
Yes.
they would like to think that we could ask for
Yes, we're just hoping it out.
you know, small interventions in the meantime to
Can I just check,
improve safety.
we are also going to go through the long-term plan this year? Are
Next
we?
year.
Is it next year?
Yeah.
It's next
Yeah.
year.
They've only just started the
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember last time that it was all at the same time.
So if we just go
Yeah.
through, we're asked to consider the rates rise proposed and whether the board agrees, doesn't agree or doesn't know.
Yeah.
In terms of support.
Well, my view is it's too high. I think it's too high for people. So it's the issue of bringing it back and how that's done, which is the difficulty. So that's my view. It's too high.
Yeah, so
You should be about
I agree with Helen.
6% mark.
That's the number one thing that I would say for residents is
Yeah.
is the cost of rates.
But I think, just remind me, the 5.8 signaled in the long-term plan was because they had all these different, it was low here and then high in another year.
Mhm.
That's.
Oh, that's right, that question
Yeah,
that we
had
asked.
that before,
Yeah.
we talked about this.
Yeah,
And then we said, oh, they went above 10%
Yeah.
actually, and we asked them to bring it down to under 10%.
yeah.
we have
They
come
did
down.
last year.
So do we have that? We don't have that now.
No, we don't have that, but it would be good to have that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the
A
comparison.
projection of what will happen.
Yeah. Because we went through that very clearly before, and
Yes.
so now,
So some of that decrease has come about because they have rephased some work in the capital program
yes,
in order to make it deliverable. And we had those people come in from Three Borders.
yeah,
I saw how much they're cutting. I looked at that and I went, that's not
That
good.
may well
Because
be
that's
paid for it
infrastructure.
later.
Yeah, but
Yes.
it was just not deliverable.
Yeah.
Things like the sewer pump wasn't needed for another 5 years.
And
So we
council,
won't rate for it.
council's
That makes
always
sense.
done that.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
semi-illegal, actually. They've put in too many things. I've done it myself too. So when I was on council, you put in too many things that
yeah.
you're not told you can't achieve, and you don't
Yeah.
achieve it. And you're meant to rate only on what you can achieve in that 12 months.
Yeah. So that's what they've done through the letter of expectation.
So I would say if we're happy, we go with we suggest about 6% is reasonable.
Is it that?
I think it's hard to put a
Well, it was
number
5.80 last.
without knowing.
I think we should just,
Well, I mean, it's almost 8%,
what?
which is almost 8%. It's
It's at least
7.96.
So is there consensus that, no?
Well, I mean, it's
we do
double the
not
proposed rates cap amount. But I
Right.
guess,
Need to,
Yeah.
the question is what
But
do we
just
get from it?
like at
Off the
face
cuff.
value,
at face value,
like if you're a resident that doesn't know what,
I don't want to pay any higher rates,
so that, like,
just that, but,
If you stick with what's in the long-term plan, it's about 6%.
Yeah, so I was at Maratiki earlier, so they had some stuff there and they were doing the thing where they,
5% off the question, Helen.
yeah, so they're doing that thing where they ask the people for their feedback and to have their say.
Mm.
The gist of basically every single person who went through was, invest in health, education and infrastructure. Well, we can't really do the first two, but we can do infrastructure. The next one was about the historic buildings. So that's one of the things that they are consulting about in the annual map. And general consensus was buildings overseas are much older, not ours. And then the next thing was people are saying that they're struggling. You know, they can't afford to go to the stadium. And they were questioning why are we spending this money on, you know, historic buildings. And then the last thing, and it was probably the most frequent thing, was I don't want my rates to go up.
Yeah,
That was what I heard in the 2 hours first.
It's Debbie's.
okay.
I don't know.
Which of you?
From Hornby residents.
Yes, and they are struggling. I've got a big insurance bill this year, much higher than it was, so like.
Bailey, is Debbie's contribution in red?
In red,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Many using credit are not rate-payers.
So users
Maybe-
of council facilities?
Is she referring to outside, like YMXL and
Correct.
those?
Yeah.
And tourists, I guess.
Right.
So this would be basically saying that should be more in favour of increasing charges than over increasing rates.
Yes, I think so.
Increasing charges
But which one
on-
though? Because I mean, she's talked about
Ratepayer.
gyms and pools.
I don't think she specified if it's just you.
Well, it's pretty hard because there's actually not that many charges.
We
that we
were
have.
asking before for residents to be discounted.
Yes, I think
With
she's
gyms,
talking about
pools.
differential.
Libraries. What else is subsidised?
Most things are.
Yeah, like what else though?
Sports fields, the adults pay, the children don't. There's quite a
No,
lot.
children pay.
No,
Yeah.
no, there's very minimal.
I don't think there's a huge disparity between adult fees and
Yes, there
children's
is.
fees.
There was when I was there anyway. It was forced down by councillors.
Years ago was that?
Yeah. So there's a lot of public services.
That are subsidised.
Yeah.
So Debbie is saying that she would not
She prefers user pays.
use
I
it.
think that's about all that we can take from that.
So
I don't like user pays actually. It's actually got a Roger Douglas feel to it. I mean, you might have another word there. You might say,
We just need to tweak it.
I think
Hang
it's
on.
up to them. If we signal what we think's appropriate, then it's really up. I know they want ideas, but
Hang on, so we do have consensus for the first part.
yes, do we have them? Is it
You
too
support
high?
it at 7.96%. I mean, it's a yes or no question. I think the answer is no.
yeah, so we put
7.4.
in no, and then it says, do you have comments? And I've just added in, board considers the proposed average rates increase of 7.9 for all ratepayers. And average residential rates increase of 7 is too high.
Yeah.
And you have to bear in mind that people who are not the average ratepayer could be paying 12%. It's quite complex. It depends on how much.
By average.
No, average means the median average.
Oh.
But you'll have people in some areas who are paying 10 or 12%. So they always talk about the average.
I mean, I think last year we put in a comment about the board is mindful that its residents are experiencing high costs of living increases at the moment
Yes,
in all areas.
yes.
You could put a comment.
I think that.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
good. Yeah.
I think we'd put a comment because
And I think to Debbie's point as well, it's worth noting. So I mean, all of these charges are in here, Helen.
Yes,
You
but-
know,
but how much do you want to go to user pays? That's the
well, I mean, they're going up by 5% for a pool entry. For example.
5% increase?
Yeah, just about for some of them. So membership's 4.8.
5%.
Membership's 4.8, and it's probably closer to about 3% for a singles entry. I mean, there's all different fees.
5% of, what is it now?
That's it. How much
$4?
will it equate to?
So child entry $4 to $4.10, and then adult from 7 to 7.20. I mean, on the face of it, it's actually not
The
that
adult,
much
oh, the four
for a pool.
$4.10.
Yeah.
I thought 14.
Oh,
No, sorry.
Good.
And there's also a new tertiary student
Yeah, yeah.
here for $5. So I mean, that's another
look, I'm not. Did
change.
Debbie have user pays down, or is that our
Yeah,
too?
That's Debbie.
it is reading.
Yeah, no, look,
Yeah.
I'm totally against that actually.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a set of the Roger Douglas years.
I mean,
I
it's
think-
already user pays for
Well, I
everything
mean,
anyway.
we can say is that, well, we actually think it's too high. They probably
Yeah.
won't pay a lot of attention to it. And we haven't got the answers, have we?
I think perhaps, is it more
I-
related to the use of some of the services?
Yeah, probably.
Like, if the library's open till 8 PM on a Sunday night,
Yes or no?
is
And
that
you wander around,
required?
yes,
And that's the levels of service, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes. I mean, they could look at, we suggest some hours of service could be
Cut.
reduced.
Mm.
Yeah, I think there's libraries and other things.
No, they could be, but when I was speaking with the staff in there earlier today, they're telling me actually people are basically waiting to get in, you know, on the weekends, for
Well,
example.
at them in the morning,
And-
but what
But I've
about the
wandered
evening?
around the library when there's
No, I don't think so.
o'clock at night and.
Oh, yeah, no. Sometimes,
you could shop
yeah,
at
she says they're literally
6:30.
pushing them out the door.
Mm.
I mean, these are people who can't afford internet. They come there to use the Wi-Fi.
I think from the last, our last submission, we asked them to look into which areas or which facilities that would probably, if they recommend to reduce the hours, but if not, I mean, if only needed, then they come back to us with that, but if not,
Mm.
it's not.
I think it would be interesting
If
to ask,
there is a demand, then
yeah. We should ask Phoebe if she'd support putting up the user pays for car parking. Be interesting.
If you change the user pays thing. I mean, well, I know the Labour Party won't like it either, actually, the Labour politicians. It's just,
Do we have anything
Right.
else to add to that Rex comment?
No, I don't think so.
yeah, I think we're fine with that, the comments in black.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
Yeah,
happy with that.
the red comments,
can you take out user pays, or I can't
No,
support it?
that's just Debbie's fine. We're just
Oh,
doing,
it's
we're just doing the black one.
comments, incorporated in.
So, sorry, I've just brought up our last
That's what we need.
annual planning submission. So the board commented there and we didn't agree with the proposed level of rates increase last year either. And we said the board considers that rates increases at the currently proposed levels place pressure on many households, noting that in addition to Christchurch City Council rates, households are all subject to regional rates levied by Environment Canterbury. The board therefore seeks to have the level of rates rises contained as much as possible.
We could almost cut and paste that.
Just copy and paste.
I mean,
Yeah.
they'll get lots of submission, you know, so it's.
I think the other thing to also bear in mind
Because it
is
still holds true.
Yeah.
we have the proportion that is in here of user pays is going up. It's going up when I look at just about any charge. You
Well,
know?
that's just going up though with the percentage of the rates rise.
No, they're not. They're all different percents.
Oh, are they?
Alcohol
Different.
licensing, you know, it's 2.9, sometimes it's 3.1.
It'll be different.
Some of them aren't going up.
Higher than 8%?
Now, the charges.
Yep. Yeah, it's waste charges.
And some of them, they can only go up what it actually costs them.
I mean, council rubbish
Yeah.
bags are going up 15%.
So we're scratching.
Hard to go through all those charges, it's just.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not. I
Wait, there's-
have gone through them all.
Have you
They're
got,
going up.
yeah, have
They
you got
are.
any ideas or?
Well,
Right.
you risk making it unaffordable, Colin, but what I'm saying is you're right, but they're already putting it up anyway. So Debbie's also right. They've considered both of those.
Right,
Yeah. Yes,
General rate.
I actually do support that. And the reason why is in,
Say yes?
yes,
Yes,
because
so-
in some other areas around the country, we've seen like a huge business differential when it becomes unaffordable.
Yes, I
What we
put
used
yes.
last time for that?
We hit the same person.
Differential, we did have that.
Did we have it last time?
Yes, we did. You suppose it was to lower the differential pay. 5%. Oh, maybe a different question,
Yeah.
but there was something about differential. Did we support it or something?
Mhm.
I think that was in last,
Yeah, so this is asking us to keep the proportion the same, and I'm saying yes. So in Wellington, it's about 3.7 times.
we just need to see what, so we are at least consistent with what we've been saying
Yeah.
throughout the years.
I mean, I do kind of agree with Debbie there, if it's the red comments, but I do think we should just keep the standard differential between business and residential. So I think it's yes, actually.
I don't think.
Just
yeah,
keep things as they
I
are.
don't need to say the,
Yeah.
the comments.
So it's true.
It's not relevant for the decision making.
Yeah, it's
Really.
true that resident rates are taxable.
We don't want those additional comments in, just put a yes.
That's true.
Yeah, it's fine.
Fees and charges, proposed change some fees and charges, the draft
Mm.
fees will remain unchanged. Do you have comments on the proposed changes?
Have a differential.
Actually, Debbie's comments might fit in.
Yeah, I think so.
Ah, that's right. Becca.
But I guess
Oh, well,
my position on this would be basically you've got a balance between keeping some of these services affordable, like pools, for
Yeah.
example.
Agreed.
yeah, I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
we have to subsidise the
Nice.
pool
There's
or
got to be a balance, right?
it will be unaffordable. Yeah.
Correct.
Getting a balance between.
Yeah, and what is that
between
balance?
both,
But do we
and not disadvantaging disadvantaged children.
funded by the service users as opposed to all ratepayers?
Yeah.
Well, are we just in the middle? Neither agree or disagree, because we don't really.
I think the
This
balance,
is just providing a comment, so it's not a.
yeah, to what extent
Do we have to
Hundred.
tick the box though?
they can put don't know.
We don't have to.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Yeah, it's neither agree or disagree. I mean,
Balance, yeah.
if I look in here, I mean, most of the things that people can use, pools, gyms, that kind of thing, stadium hire,
Mm.
they're quite reasonable in fact.
The interesting thing I've commented on at home is that what's happened with swimming is that once each school had a swimming pool.
Mhm.
And so when I was at school and after me, people learned to swim at school because it was open at lunchtime and after school.
Yeah.
That's all been transferred now
Mm.
to ratepayers. It hasn't completely been transferred.
How many schools actually, because schools use
Mm.
Some
the private
still do.
pools.
Yeah.
Some still have their own pool, but some
No.
don't.
I don't know how many schools actually use the
Yeah.
council facilities.
My son's school, they didn't use the council.
Yeah, neither did mine.
I mean, it'd be
You
worthwhile
would-
actually start exploring
Yeah.
why. Why have we got
Probably
schools
primary still has a pool.
going to a private
There'll
one?
still be some.
So there's a lot of schools
Yeah.
have cut
That use
now,
it.
and they go on buses.
Unlimited Discovery would use council facility.
But I mean,
So it's
at
just
that point-
transferring it onto ratepayers, basically.
yeah, but at that point, then philosophically, you got to ask, should council ratepayers be subsidising private, to compete with a private business? It's the same as a car park argument. A
Oh.
private pool versus public pool,
Oh, okay.
the private car park versus the public car park.
Well, I think every school should have one, but it's a bygone era, so it's not going to come
Nice to
back.
have now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And it was the Tomorrow schools changed it, where they became each school had its own board of trustees, and they could
Mm.
decide whether to have a pool or not. So,
Yeah.
a long time ago,
Right.
about 1990. I think just think a balance there.
Yeah, I mean, the one that most people are going to care about, I looked through here,
Rules and parking.
there's a couple of percent.
Faye, do you need to be ticking the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the-
going,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
that next.
okay,
I'll just put that comment in there. The board considers it is important that there is a balance, that a balance is obtained in the setting of fees and charges to cover the costs of your service while making them affordable for residents.
yeah.
Yeah.
Words to that effect. I'll
Yeah.
tidy up the words.
I probably disagreed. I don't know.
What part?
That's what we just agreed.
On which box you tick, but
Oh,
Yeah, we haven't ticked any.
we don't need to.
we don't need to do it. No, that's fine.
No, we do.
I think we.
No, you don't have,
Yeah.
you don't have
Maybe
to
you
do
can
it.
say you don't know.
Well, no,
Because we're
if we
basically
neither
saying-
agree nor disagree, we're at a
Yeah.
balance. We're like
Yes.
Yeah,
one.
I already, I agree with you.
So Debbie has suggested, yes, she would agree. And people in the room,
Funded by this.
I like
This
that
is the
comment
user
better.
pays as opposed to all ratepayers.
Mm.
All ratepayers. Ratepayers.
No, I'm very much in the middle because I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm
important that
I'm
Yeah.
in the middle as well. So that's what we had in the comment about that, there should be a balance.
yeah,
It's a
So
balance,
it's,
yeah.
neither agree nor disagree.
I think so.
I mean,
We're not strongly, suggesting that the user
Yeah.
pays. We're not endorsing that.
no, I mean, we shouldn't be looking at charging $20 for a pool. We should be looking at why are people not using the pool?
yeah. Or when is the pool not being used to its
Yeah.
capacity and how do we?
Actually, it's a good one because I've heard that from the staff before. Apparently, some issues with these fees that they have very limited flexibility around how they market stuff. It'd be good if they could actually have some discretion around, I don't know, you get a month free or 3 months free or something if you buy like a 12-month membership or something.
They've done that in the past.
Yeah, but I think it's been quite challenging. It would be good to clarify at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Climate resilience fund.
Climate resilience fund.
So what does this actually do? This fund? Because I thought,
That
is this just
was-
accumulating money for an event in the future?
That was proposed in last year.
Yeah, it was.
Whether the question was whether we supported that or not, and we did support that.
I'm pretty.
And so now it's the question.
What was the comment that we made last time about?
Yeah, the last time. We made a comment about climate resilience fund.
They're not in the same order. Hopefully they're not in the same order last time.
That was it. Yeah, okay. I mean.
No matches.
Resilience.
Need to clarify what's the
Yeah.
use.
I'm not strong on it. People, aren't it?
Resilience. The resilience fund.
Could be thought through at the long-term plan, actually.
Yeah, but they're asking us to make a decision about this
Doesn't
time
say-
around.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the 0.25% rates
Oh,
increase.
yeah, it's not a huge.
So the fund that was established July last year, ring fences rates collected now to invest in future adaptation work. So the types of things, so climate change impacts and the types of things that it could be spent on to improve the resilience of our roads, stormwater networks, coastal infrastructure, community facilities.
I think
These costs will be substantial without early planning. The costs will fall disproportionately on future generations. So
Yeah, that was the key thing, wasn't it?
yeah. Can we just make in the comments field just note that there's a number of areas in Hornby at least that have recurring issues with the surface flooding? Because it's getting worse in some respects.
Yeah.
I guess it's a consideration for them.
Is that climate related though? Is it related to the,
If it's not, we need to sort it out.
well, is it related to the kind of water table but I don't know that it's actually a climate thing, is it?
Block.
It's getting
It's
Yeah.
blocked pipes rather than.
frequency of it happening
Yeah.
potentially is.
But
We know-
The issue.
I wonder if we should have, we pause it, but for the long-term plan, we'd like more detail on it. So like, these are the things that the fund does.
That was the purpose of pausing.
It's a bit vague.
Why would we pause?
No,
I'd pause
Helen,
it.
but if you think about what just happened in Banks Peninsula and you think about Little River, and you think about the devastation to the roads and so on, and hills collapsing and so forth, we have to actually fund for that.
Well, is that part of this fund though?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
100%.
purpose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like moving or raising roads
Yeah.
to
Let's go with it then.
rise.
Sorry,
it's literally what.
If it's just a vague education stuff, I'd say
No,
no.
no, it's not. It's got.
That's fluffy stuff. It's fluff.
Actionable.
Effectively, we're going to prepay, from my
Yeah.
understanding, for these things, so that
Yeah.
when there is a disaster event like that.
If it's real stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
It
like,
is.
well,
Rather than fluff.
It is quantified.
yeah,
all right, so
So,
we,
under comments, just put the board considers it important that contributions
We could-
to the fund be maintained or something.
Do you want to relate it to what's happened on Banks Peninsula and Little River recently?
Yes, I think,
example,
yeah.
yeah, related to the bank
Consider-
event.
twice,
Particularly
Yep, twice in
I don't think.
this summer.
No,
Twice during summer.
Summer.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
oops, the recent flooding events.
nothing you'd say
The
as well.
two recent flooding.
See,
events.
probably if that happened to within our board area, that's when our recess committee would be called in.
Yeah, but what decisions would have been made?
No, it's all done on.
Yeah, it is a state of emergency.
What
Yeah.
state of
Yeah.
emergency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't here, so okay, but I thought that would be.
Yeah.
As an example, something that the board would probably
Yeah, I mean,
Get involved with
Demonstrate the importance.
board members at least.
Maybe not as a formal meeting.
No, there's,
though.
no, there's no decision, but, you'll be,
because that was one of the questions that I asked the Three Waters guys when they came in. And I said, well, hang on, if you drop these things off and then something happens and you have to spend it. And he goes, oh yeah, we'll find the money. Yeah, but that will actually mean that we're taking from something else.
something else, yeah.
Or this, we're not putting at risk other
Yeah.
things that we think have been planned,
Yeah,
Ellen.
that's good.
So we won't put at risk things that we have planned
Yeah,
if something happens, otherwise they'll have to take from it.
We
basically.
didn't really allude to where the money would come from then.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
correct.
just-
So if we've got something, then
Yeah.
they'll,
that makes sense. Yeah. No, I mean, otherwise it's dead.
The board considers that the recent flooding events on Beach to demonstrate the importance of continuing to
Yep.
flood. the flood.
That's fine.
Now Debbie has suggested that residents want to pause.
Yeah, I mean, that, but that's already covered by her. Is a percent too much?
But, you know, like the
Fatalities
flooding,
from those in the community.
the banks of the river,
We don't have a choice.
It's that sort of stuff.
like that affected Halswell residents, didn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the roads were closed.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that actually on Facebook. People's roads were closed.
Yeah.
And they were flooded. I think Debbie needs to understand though,
There was also.
regardless of whether she wants us to spend that 0.25% or not, I believe those events actually cost us millions of dollars. Maybe. It was at least hundreds of thousands, right? So we have to spend it whether we want to or not. You can say that it's annoying.
it just depends on which pot it's coming from.
Yeah, but I don't have a choice over whether it's spent or not. You know, that's whatever the climate decides to do, we just have to deal with it.
I think if, you know, the issue I have with that particular question is I think that there's the whole climate change argument. There's a lot of people for and against, you know,
Yeah.
around certain aspects of it. This specifically has quantifiable projects that would be the money would be used for. And I think the general population, the ones that would be adverse to the climate change argument, may not understand what it's used for, and that might be why people
Yeah.
would say pause it.
Yeah, so I think
That's
we can
right.
probably clarify that in the comment, just by saying,
Easily
this is kind of what we
understand
expect it to be
flooding
used for.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
so
other
that's
disasters.
what we've said, the
Yeah,
board
great.
considers it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we can add to this in time.
Mm.
The next matter is contestable community grants. Now, this is quite significant to the board because this is what the
No,
board does,
absolutely not.
actually.
I can just say absolutely not from the start, because the percentage saving 0.04% is bugger all actually in the grand scheme of things. But when we look at what these community
It
groups
provides.
do with the grants,
Yeah.
it's fantastic, amazing work, and so much more than just the money that we give them. They multiply it.
Yes, and I hear you. I'm just mindful that
Yes,
not with this example, but with others, like we aren't happy with the rates as high as what they are, and yet for,
But this is not an
Yes.
increase. This is a cut. This is a cut to level services. And
okay.
Only cut it slightly. I mean, I'm actually on the other side on this one, but it's basically, I think we should cut it as
it makes
suggested.
$400,000.
You hear the argument? We're spending more than any other council does on social programs.
Mhm.
So, if we
Enabled,
reduce it slightly,
have we enabled groups a little bit?
No, I think the earthquake did. The earthquake,
Caused,
lots of groups were born out of the earthquake.
yeah,
Mm.
right. So that's where the demand is higher than
but
other.
Yeah, but and there's just lots of really amazing community development work in Christchurch.
Yes.
Okay.
In our community.
And that's what's the
area.
difference between us and other.
Yeah,
cities.
yeah.
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 But look, I do think we could take it back by 356,000.
Yeah, but that makes next to no difference on the rates increase.
No, I think
But it'll make a big difference for those groups. Do we know?
0.04%.
Yeah. Do we know for us, like, what would be the
I'll take it
impact for
down
us?
further actually.
I don't have.
I mean, like roughly though, like what's the? Oh, so they're saying they cut it by 5%. So I guess if we took 5% off of that,
We're about
It's some areas by 5%, isn't it? It's by 5%, some areas, some contestable grant schemes. So look, I don't mind if you want. to
so it's
keep
about
it as it is.
$32,000.
Sorry,
It's roughly $30,000.
I would gradually bring it back each year to some different point. But if you don't agree, I'm happy to let it go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we keep it.
And keep it, yeah.
It's my.
So the
I've
comment,
never been able to argue to bring it back, or Bob Parker tried. So,
Schemes.
Strengthening communities.
yeah, I wonder if you'd be happy to put in,
round,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
funding
yeah.
round, or work.
could you put in the level of community grants could be considered under the long-term plan? Because that's where you have a proper look at what you're spending.
I mean,
Not because you don't need to do it this year particularly, but you have to have a look in the long-term plan.
how much money is remaining for us? Right now, it's about 30,000, I think.
7 million, is it? Is it 7
No, just for our board.
Oh, for our board.
Oh, it would be nice if we could have 7 million, but that means we're not spending anything.
I personally don't think we should
We should what?
cut, lower.
Would you be prepared to
It's
put a
something
comment in there?
Jodie.
Yeah.
But then we have the board projects.
Yeah.
That takes away from that figure.
Yeah.
And towards the end of
Yeah.
the year, whatever's unspent will go back into kind of that
Yeah,
pot.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So slightly more, but they've been allocated to,
Mhm.
some with your neighbours, off the ground.
So
security
that mean
development.
perhaps that some of those projects couldn't go ahead, some of
Yeah,
our
exactly.
neighbours and.
And if you think of $30,000, so if we look at some of our
The awards.
bigger organisations
Mm.
that we fund, the most we fund
Mm.
groups is between that 30 and 50. So,
Mm.
those groups like CDN.
I think the Halswell residents
Hornby,
as well, right? It's about 30,000, is it?
a Halswell Community Project.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hornby Community Centre. So 30,000 is actually for what you guys give is the larger sums.
Yeah. But yes,
None
yeah,
of that.
Talking about, and we don't know whether they're talking about the central funding or
Yeah.
board funding, do we?
It would be.
It would flow through.
Would you be happy to put in something? I'm happy to go with it if you like, but put in this could be reviewed under the long-term plan.
Well, it will be.
It's a better
Everything.
place to do it.
Yeah.
Without saying
It
that,
will
but
be.
Yes,
definitely.
can I just ask, with the culture galore now with Metro,
Mhm.
so are we saving $12,000?
The board.
Yes.
Yes.
So we can spend it elsewhere now, so we have an additional 12,000.
So I'm suggesting if you're putting that, then maybe a comment. along
Just a
the lines
bit.
of the
Could be considered under long-term plan.
values the work undertaken by a range of community groups enriching the lives of local people. It considers that the value gained from every dollar provided by way of community grants is immeasurable and recognises that times are hard for these groups with increasingly limited access to funding. The board urges the council to provide several.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing, and this is kind of probably not related to that, but it is just a point that I thought is worth raising. The Youth Development Fund, not many people know about it. And there's a couple of schools that I've spoken to and I've noticed there's been an increase in the uptake of their funding applications, which is great, but I feel like it's not fair on others, primarily schools. And perhaps just, we do get individual people approaching the board, which is wonderful too, but it's not common knowledge across organisations that it's available.
Yeah.
But, we can't obviously fund everyone, of course. So then if we get a massive influx, it's going to finish by, but yeah, just something worth.
Can I just also say, Helen, have you ever not approved a grant that the staff have brought?
No,
Yeah.
but I've always worked in a budget, so everyone works in a budget.
Well, if you wanted to save money, maybe don't.
I mean, there's
Maybe don't.
I've got a few doubts about some organisations, and that's probably both at metro and local level.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you have a budget, you keep to the budget basically. Look,
You don't have
if
to
you're
keep-
happier with that,
Yeah.
ticking that, it's a hard thing to argue. I'd have to argue that we are spending more, as far as I know, we're spending more than other councils, large councils do.
Yeah.
On social programs.
Yeah.
I come from social programs too, so it's just, I've been surprised at the level of funding.
But as Bailey
Like
said,
council.
post-earthquake is where they kind of
Yeah.
start.
Oh, I don't know, I think it was always there actually.
Oh,
Yes, I
think
think
it's
it's higher.
Yeah, I think it shows though.
Yeah.
I think it grew, yes.
Yeah.
I'll be honest as well, I didn't even know how many groups there even were until, we met half of them downstairs and they're doing fantastic work.
Yeah.
For it to stop will be
And like the comment, lots of the work that the organisations do. It's when they're not there that
Mm.
we really see the impact of.
But also
the work that they
volunteering
do.
is
so true.
funding
Yeah.
as well, which is not.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean by
Yes.
the
Yeah.
dollar. You could add something in, like I just suggest something like this.
Yeah.
At a local level, the board is always prudent.
Yeah.
In its grants.
Yeah.
Words to that effect.
I've questioned one or two,
Mm.
and then they didn't come to us. So
And granting funds.
Remove it too.
Environmental Partnership Fund. The draft annual plan proposes to increase the Environmental Partnership Fund by 300,000. Alternately, funding at the current 700,000 could be retained and rates reduced by 0.04 in 26.
Well, I don't know much about this
What
fund,
is the
but I would,
environmental partnerships?
I would say it's one thing we could keep at current levels.
Without knowing what it is.
At least value, let's, keep it, but that's
700,000 is quite a lot.
find out what it's for.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can operate something similar to this, and groups apply to it to do environmental projects.
But is it working with Sil and a council? Is that, I've never heard of the fund actually.
Yeah, I have heard of it. I'll just still with the.
So the Environmental
Fund.
Partnership Fund
Oh, yeah,
supports community groups to work with the council on environmental activities and projects on publicly accessible land and waterways.
Ah,
The fund helps deliver the goals in
Mm.
the council's biodiversity strategy.
Why isn't ECAN doing this?
So currently we fund it, the fund is 700,000 a year, and they're looking at a planned increase of 300,000 or asking whether it should be retained at the current level.
It's quite a large increase. I would say we just leave it at 700,000. We're not taking money away. And it can be reviewed in the long-term plan.
do we know how it performed last year with that budget? Were the groups able to,
I suppose the more money you've got, the more groups will be able to do, but
with the more
Yeah.
money?
Mm.
Was there a
online? There
demand?
will be a list of those who.
Yeah, I was just thinking
receive
whether there
funding.
was a request and then we run out of money, so we can't fund the other groups. So then there's a need to increase, but we don't know that.
But we're all under budget constraints at present, aren't we? I mean, that's the,
Yeah.
we're not cutting back on them. We're just, it's the same.
The same for now.
Yeah.
I think it's probably,
300 is 50% increase. It's huge.
but its environmental improvements should really be done by ECAN. I mean, the climate resilience stuff makes sense to sit with us where it's the infrastructure. But I don't know why
Well,
we'd
do we say
be
no,
doing.
and that's a
We
comment?
just retain
Some
it,
of it would be sort of, parks projects, or
Park,
council
yeah.
parks.
waterway enhancement.
Mm.
And this is the, that is council.
I'm strongly in favour of just staying where things are.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're in agreement.
Yeah.
And if we find out
Yeah.
things, we can change our minds
Yeah.
by the time people speak to it.
No, okay.
capital program, so this is
Physical.
physical infrastructure projects, roading, three waters, drinking waters, etc. So this is where I added in. So Debbie's just put in the emphasis on maintaining the quality, safe footpaths and roading. I've added in there specific projects that the board,
Capital.
capital projects that the board is going to look at funding. So that's just what I said, the ones that are identified, they'll probably all require long-term funding.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we might want to think we can do something
You need to signal.
to make something a road a bit safer.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Spreadsheet.
Your one. And potentially the board could comment on what is in the draft in the board area
Yeah.
that you support. So
Yeah.
that's the things like the rolling renewal parks program, some of the waste, the three waters, program, some of the works that are specifically in there, so we could
Mhm.
put together a comment on.
I think this is already pretty good.
Yeah.
I think things that probably highlight in terms of more general.
Largely Hornby, aren't they, actually?
No,
Riccarton.
Well, then there's Halswell as well. I mean, there's
There's
common
Halswell,
issues
okay.
too.
Is there anything? Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah,
Riccarton
so-
as well.
Yep.
Yeah, if we're talking
The
about,
signalisation of Parker Street, Gilverthorpe and Water, that's, you could put in, this has been there for, required for over 30 years.
yeah,
That can
And
be
action
said
has to be
in-
taken.
That can be said when we speak to the submission.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
gonna
this
have
is
to be,
a long-term
that's
plan.
gonna be a long.
Largely long-term plan stuff.
Because we'll need that funding, but
Okay.
as I say, we'd like to think that there's enough program money to tweak a few things to keep the intersection safe until we get there.
Yeah.
I think so thematically,
Yeah.
what's probably missing from this
Yes.
is my view. Footpaths are not actually mentioned in here, but if we look at the board area, it's been a recurring issue and council approved 20-something million on new footpaths, and I met with staff once about the number one project on there, which is in Hornby, by the way, Springs Road, and it's actually not built yet. And I don't know where that's at,
Part of it is, which part of Springs are you talking
but it has no footpath. By the fire station, let's say. It's down further.
Yeah.
So that needs to be on there because there's not enough money to do them with the way that councils currently prioritise them.
What I mean is that there was works done. Quite a part.
Yeah, there was a renewal.
Oh, that was just renewal.
There was renewals. Yeah,
Not, okay.
yeah, not the new footpaths. Yeah, so funding for new footpaths. I think
So
that
is that the funding that is in there? So it's got delivery, so you're under replacing existing assets, delivery package for path renewals up to FY 27. So you're saying you support what's in the draft or you want that increased?
we have a number of challenging ones, including in Halswell, that will likely need additional funding to proceed. Because I think if we think about, there's no one from Hedgemere Road, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of them that actually can't fit within the new footpaths program. But I mean, it's been clear
We need it.
demand from Halswell residents that it's needed. So yeah, both of those.
Also adding it to this list for signal, flagging for
It falls outside of
LCP.
the new footpaths program.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
yeah,
currently
but so we're
funded.
flagging that we
Yeah.
need, we're going to go to the long-term plan for
Mhm.
funding for all of these,
Mhm.
but that we want enough funding to get us
Yeah.
there, kind of, is that?
I think what Cody's saying,
No.
correct me, is
Yeah.
so this list of projects that we're
Yeah.
going to be putting in our long-term plan submission to add the Cashmere Road.
Yeah, for example.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
Main South Road,
funding
for
for safe
example.
pedestrian.
Yes,
Yeah,
Cashmere Road, I think,
absolutely
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Too broad?
I would specify that one.
For example.
Yeah, well, we can add that. We can add that after. We
Funding
don't
for
need to
safety
get to levels.
vehicles in Hornby and also,
Yeah.
for example.
Sorry, I just, to be clear, you weren't asking for it in the annual plan.
Mm.
That was just what I wanted to make sure.
For example, Cashmere Road,
Cashmere Road
footpath.
footpath.
A lot of paths and
Another
And
example
Main
in
South Road.
Hornby,
Yeah, Main South Road.
Main South Road and Main
Yeah.
South Road.
And I guess,
Cashmere Road and Main South Road
Yeah.
footpaths.
yeah, we just need an update on that. 'Cause I
You
don't-
mean the countdown corner?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's currently too expensive. That could change.
Well,
That's
we-
currently not.
So we say that it's that project though, because the Main South roads have got footpaths, it's just that one bit that doesn't.
Or missing
There's actually,
pedestrian connections,
Yeah,
missing pedestrian.
yeah, missing. It's not safe. I mean,
No.
So funding for
Like-
missing
Footpath connections
Yeah.
on,
pedestrian connections.
missing footpath.
Along Cashmere Road and Main South Road.
I think another thing, and again, it's just thematic, is we've got many millions of dollars on budget for South Express, which will likely be for that Parker Gilberthorpe's Waterloo Road upgrade. But bearing in mind that there was also changes recently to not do them to this gold-plated sort of railway standard. So we savings from that. If we're looking at cycleways in this area, there's a number of local cycling connections that are not funded ever, but instead we're going to spend millions of dollars so that someone can cycle from Rolleston to the city. Makes no sense to me. So I would actually say if there is an opportunity to take some of the money which might be surplus from that South Express project to actually put that towards local cycling and walking connections instead. I see there's going to be thematic. I just became really detailed. I was saying less major cycleway, more local cycling focus because it's more deliverable and not
the
funded.
major
currently.
cycle network.
Yeah.
Like there's
cycle.
white line on roads, which is for cycling.
I mean, it could be.
Do-
I'm not getting down to that level. What I'm saying is,
You mentioned surplus from the South Express,
I should hope so. Yeah,
so that's not confirmed yet?
but I don't think
Do we
anything's
know?
confirmed.
We
It
don't.
was only in the press today. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
but
So if we do.
Yeah.
Does the board request,
The board would support,
the
for
board
local,
requests that,
any surplus?
yeah, well, I guess it's saying the priority is not on the major cycleways, it's on the local cycling infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You'll find that cycleways, there's a mixed opinion.
yeah, great.
On public opinion.
But,
The reason I'm saying this, Helen, is because if you think,
yeah,
oh,
we've
this
spent
no, that's.
I don't know how many million to build a cycleway from the city out to Rolleston.
Mm.
Most people aren't doing that. Most people just go to the shops. School.
Yes, I know.
We go to work or something like that. Most of my trips, when I bike, are 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Safe for me to do in Wigram.
Yes.
You're not going to necessarily bike every day for 30.
Yeah, I'm not going to bike from Rolleston to the city every day, but that's what we build the cycleway, assuming.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying if we could refocus some of that.
You'll find there's this very anti-cycleway at the last election. That was on the large cycleways.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we could-
that's just an opinion at the time from public.
But there's a bunch of minor,
Mm.
small works in the long-term plan that are not funded.
Yes, I
So we
know.
drop millions and millions on these ones that always blow out.
Yeah, I know.
And whereas the small ones could actually have a much more meaningful impact for a lot more people.
so those big cycleways we refer to as the major cycle routes.
Yes.
Yeah.
CR,
So have smaller routes.
so,
Yeah.
so we're now talking about the local,
Yeah.
I think there was 2 or 3 that's on the LTP for Horsewall, and
yeah.
they keep getting pushed out.
Mm.
Probably makes more sense than spending millions and millions to spend, a couple of 100,000, which is how much these are. So that people can get around the local area rather than, not everyone works in the city.
We could put it down. I mean, it won't hurt. Particularly if we can get some more thinking on it for the long-term plan.
I think the other
Yes.
is actually, like, we already approved all the park stuff, mainly. All park stuff's approved, like the grants is covered by people, so stuff. Water renewals and stuff happens on the program, so. Apart from,
If you just want a broad comment that,
Yeah.
supports.
I'll
what's in
just
the annual
finish
plan,
this one.
Yeah.
We can add that in.
Mm.
Don't need to do that here.
I think people are happy with smaller cycleways. It's the big over engineered ones.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that,
They're safer though, the large
Yeah.
ones.
that was part of the
Booklet.
program,
the
I
council
think,
facilities?
cycleways,
there's none in that area, so you can comment on it.
Yes, so a couple of roads.
Yeah, it's just a small thing.
to get to school safely.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's more stuff that can multitask about,
Improve local
you know,
travel.
basic stuff, and we can't
Improve
fund it, it's
travel
crazy.
in local area.
Local, yeah, within local areas.
Yeah, I mean, if someone comes and asks us for it. Let him run on the street, we should do it.
Henry, just.
If they ask, that's what I'm saying.
Don't bring it up.
If people are asking.
You mean
we
some
should listen to the people.
Wouldn't bother if they wanted it.
Just
Yeah,
a comment
pedestrian.
like that, Cody,
Yeah.
just, can change the words about a bit, but that's the sort of thing, I guess, the Board of Precedent place on local cyclones,
Yeah.
improve travel within local areas.
Can we like refocus? It's kind of like away from the major cycleway to local cycleway. Yeah, not fancy. It's not additional.
Rather, they'll
It's-
put
yeah, it's
rather
in lieu of.
than.
Yeah,
Rather
Yeah.
than on
MCRs.
MCRs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Proposed changes to spend on three waters. Debbie has put in their emphasis on maintaining chlorine-free water.
I'd like to congratulate council on this, on maintaining water services
Really?
in council. It's much more efficient, more
In-house.
effective.
Yeah.
No, the
I just want a
operation.
positive
Yeah,
comment there.
right.
We
Is Wellington's handed it over and they're having terrible struggles with water, a separate company.
In-house control.
Yes,
Having struggles with.
I think it's nuts.
Bloody state.
Sorry.
No, it's the in-house control and management.
Yes,
Yeah.
we support fully.
Yeah, we
what they've
did
done.
support that
Yes.
last time.
maintaining chlorine-free water. Well, we don't have chlorine-free water.
Yeah.
We don't, we can't,
Is she
no, we
referring
had to
to
bring it back.
chlorine-free pumps, like a station, or?
Oh, yeah, she had asked for that. Did it go on?
We did ask for that in the priority.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Debbie talking about special areas?
I think she's talking about the taps, you know.
Yeah.
the
Oh, that's fine.
chlorine-free
If
wells.
that was, Patrick just
I
say,
don't know if that applies here. I think this could mean across the board, just having
Yeah.
water without chlorine.
but at
this
present
is-
it's gone.
This is in reference to capital program, Helen.
Yeah. But she,
I don't think we need to say anything.
I mean, is she wanting advocating for chlorine-free water, or is she just wanting us to maintain those special areas? I'm fine with the special areas. I think it's a waste of time advocating for chlorine-free water
It was
now.
$80,000 for.
Sorry?
The water pump's $80,000, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I
don't know.
I'm pretty sure. it's
I
right.
don't think one can go back now. I think it's been, we've lost our chlorine-free water, basically.
But from my understanding, last time we brought this up,
Yeah.
council were really trying to do as much as they could to get it, but that just has to reach a certain threshold, doesn't it? It was really hard to get.
Yes,
Yeah.
something to do
But I-
with the monitoring now by government on councils.
Standards set by government, I think.
Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, we were still trying to get to that point that it was accepted.
Well, we've obviously got a couple of wells that have been accepted as.
Yeah, but not that.
chlorine-free.
I just mean taking out chlorine out of all of our water.
It's going to cost millions.
I mean,
Right,
we'd like
okay.
to do that.
But we were still,
Yeah, I think
Last
people
time.
still like us to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it's
still
not maintaining
we were
them.
progressing to.
No.
The emphasis on advocating
Yeah.
for chlorine-free water. I don't mind that. It's advocacy.
I'd say stop the stink.
Yeah.
Get rid of the chlorine.
I think just a question,
Yeah.
if you have comments on proposed changes to
Yeah.
spending.
It was
Yeah.
spending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proposed changing. Well, I would. I don't have any-
We didn't have
No.
any
No,
comment.
we already had them come in and we asked all our questions and it was fine. Yeah.
Take Debbie's one.
Yeah,
We don't have any comments on the proposed changes to spending on three waters.
It's just hard with Stevie not here because we could advocate for chlorine-free water, but you'd probably be asking to spend, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars more.
well, that's going to be a rate.
Anyway, which will be a
increase.
rates increase, which she's against.
Yeah.
So, you know, do we make it user pay to make the water in Halswell chlorine-free? I don't know.
Then take out maintaining advocacy.
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing was on.
If you can do it.
Working that.
I don't think you can actually.
And then.
They tried at one stage.
You can use UV. They use UV
Yeah.
filtration. Yeah.
Proposed-
I think
they do it in
Expensive.
Parks,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
something about the rolling.
At the
park
tap,
release
yeah.
program, didn't we?
Or you could just put a jug in your fridge.
I can't find.
Leave it overnight and won't taste.
She will,
chlorine.
it's okay, we don't need to do that now.
I'll just put the underlining there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that-
It seems to
that's probably-
Comments on, yeah.
No, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Right. Thanks,
Do
Jen.
you have any comments on the proposed changes to spending on parks? We've just went through that also with
No, look good.
info session, so no comments. Comments on proposed changes to spending in other areas of the capital program.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah,
Read.
none,
I would just say
the safe footpaths.
So that's where Debbie has put,
Uh,
so maintaining the. good-
Maintaining there again, so maintaining good quality safe footpaths and roading and
But we've already,
advocacy for chlorine-free
we've
water,
already talked
it's
about.
already been stated.
if you can do it.
Yeah,
Mm.
I just add one remark, which is probably actually for the transport one, which was, it was good to see councils working with QRL now to actually deliver projects based on the actual risk, which is dropping the cost down significantly.
Great.
Apparently, we don't know how much it is. I don't know how you can say it's significant, but I think any movement there is welcomed. When you're talking about $7 million per recycleway crossing, it's used by like 10 people a day or something.
Yep.
It's not good value for money. So I think,
User pays.
yeah, so my comment on that would be, you know, we need to look for more opportunities to do things like that. Yeah.
That's an
Value for
upgrade.
money, level crossing upgrade.
The board welcomes cooperation between.
Yeah.
I'll say that this is going underneath, isn't it? Isn't
Yep.
it? You know what I mean?
No, it's for the
Or
transport.
will it,
Oh,
It's for the
sorry,
transport.
sorry.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
only
okay.
before.
We,
or will it not go to the comments on the proposed spending to other areas of the capital program? No? So we don't have any comments on that?
I think the only,
Actually, I can give you one. A lot of the projects that are in the capital plan are needed because of growth. There is a number of councillors who are trying to push us for a rates cap, don't want to cut the services, but then didn't want to put up development contributions. All of these things can't be true. And you can't also say we're not going to increase debt or we're going to increase charges. So we need to ensure that growth pays for growth. That's what I'm saying. Well, these projects will never be achieved, especially in a rates cap environment. If the rates cap's 4%, and we're on track now for 8%, and I haven't really heard anyone say anything that they're happy to cut. I think one of them that's great is the Kiwi Rail thing. Then developments, they have to pay for themselves, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah, and I don't think we've got that mix right yet. And that is why I'm still sitting here having to advocate for things like the Parker Street intersection upgrade, which should have been done ages ago. Things like the Amy's Road intersection and renewal also should have been done ages ago. These things are only needed because of growth. So so the change to spending in the capital program. In fact, actually, we should be spending more in the capital program. We can't afford it because we've been undercharging for development related costs.
yes, perhaps.
Yeah.
So we could put that down.
Yeah.
Look at the charging for
Yeah.
development costs.
you're talking about development contributions, eh?
So the cost would go back to the developer
Yeah, so
in
you-
a slightly higher form.
yeah, so do you
Yeah.
have any comments on the proposed changes?
Because with the growth areas, it just,
Yeah.
yeah. They're missing out on footpaths and all sorts of things because of the growth. So
So I
the,
guess the comment would be, we think that we should spend more in the capital program on growth related capital project, but this is not actually feasible while keeping a lid on rates.
or development
Yeah, because
contributions,
of
they need
development
to
contributions.
charge that adequately. I don't know if they are or not, because I've lost
No,
track of
no.
it, but
It only narrowly passed,
yeah.
Yeah. because I think Mark actually flipped his vote on that.
So Mark, have your view on this or not?
Yeah, he did after.
He does.
Yeah. Well, I said to Mark very simply,
Mm.
so you don't want to put the development contributions up, no. And you don't want to put up the rates, no. I say, but you want to deliver these things like the Amy's Road renewal, yeah. I'm going, okay, cool. So intersection upgrade, yeah. So why is intersection upgrade required?
Yeah.
It's required because of the growth.
The growth,
The growth is happening because of intensification.
particularly on spring.
The intensification is because of the developers.
Proposed changes.
We have to
in
up
other
the
areas.
development charges.
Yeah, and even if they raised it slightly, it could improve things quite a lot.
They did increase it quite a lot.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. So actually,
It's to be spent.
Faye,
Yep, I'm just sorry, I'm just.
That's
trying to-
right.
I'm just
On
wary
growth
about
related projects. is that-
delving into
Yeah.
something that the council has decided on about
Yeah.
rates cap that we
So let me
So-
change it slightly.
Yes,
The board considers that more of the capital program could be funded by development contributions.
Yeah.
So because they actually decide on a project by project basis how much of it's funded by DCs or not. Some projects are 100% rates funded, some are 100% development funded, and then there's a mix in between.
yeah.
But the funding of this, this funding
No,
should,
Yeah, but the funding is not
Totally
available.
reworded it.
Yeah.
Or considers that more of the capital may be.
Be interesting to be out the east actually in Shirley, because when I did some door knocking there for some candidate, the lovely 1940s houses, all neat and tidy, and trees, and hadn't been touched.
Mhm.
So there was a whole area of no growth
Right.
at this stage.
Development.
Sure.
Yes. So the other councillors over there don't really understand it.
Councillor, say that it should be a mix.
You know, there's areas where
Previous-
there's little growth.
Comments?
I was surprised actually.
Previous submission.
Yeah, and then we could just add at the end,
Growth area.
rather than
have I
right.
captured that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we will be consistent with what we've been saying. I don't know if Helen and Sarah may recall about us supporting a mixed funding in capital programs.
I think we can just say the word
or
should be
just development contributions.
more derived from, because we're not saying it will be entirely,
No.
but we're saying
Yeah.
if it is growth.
Considers that
Yeah.
while more of the capital project needs to be restricted, this
Yeah.
funding should be, more of this funding should be
Yeah.
derived, yeah.
Yeah,
Make
correct,
more
yeah.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be derived,
Could be,
Yeah,
yes.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you happy with that?
Could be derived.
And what about the Debbie's comments? Suggestions?
It was
Have
already,
they
Wait.
been taken
yeah, it
up?
was already covered.
We covered it, yeah.
I think we've incorporated Debbie's user pays thing. No.
You missed my comment about user pay, so Kiwi Run,
Yeah.
the crossing,
What?
10 people using it.
Church is
The
like.
close to be done.
pretty
Yeah.
busy.
10 mil, was it 10 mil, a
The-
project?
Yeah.
I think it's seven,
Maintenance
yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah,
Just under,
Like $20 per
and,
crossing.
just under $1 million each.
in terms of central
Maintenance is
disposal,
about 300 years.
Do we have, I haven't looked, did you look at the big one? Is there anything in
Nothing.
Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton for disposal?
No,
No, there isn't.
I looked through
You
them.
looked through it?
No.
so do we want to support them or don't?
I think we support them. Yeah.
We don't know.
We
about
don't
this.
know the
They
other,
might be important for their community. We don't know that, Helen.
No,
no, don't know.
we could say,
Well, there's nothing about our
There's
board
nothing about
area,
us.
our board area, so.
so are we able to say we don't know and that there aren't any of these properties in our board area?
Yeah,
Yeah, because otherwise
Yeah,
we might have a different opinion.
No, I don't think we.
No, if we
don't
didn't
need
have properties, we'd probably have a different opinion on them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Speech just about, don't we?
was it
Oh, that was the end. The next one.
Buildings.
surplus properties? There are no
Yeah.
surplus properties in the board area.
Yeah, we can order
Yeah.
that wording.
Okay.
No.
Well,
Oh, restoring our iconic buildings.
Well, based on everything I heard from every person who talked with the staff today,
Ooh,
it's, yeah, some benefit, unlikely. Yeah, I don't know.
Can I clarify with the iconic buildings?
Yeah.
Are they going to put them in this year's plan or is it a general statement?
Sorry, say that again, Helen.
Sorry? So are they are we just making a general statement or are they going to put them in this year's plan? It's not clear because it does, I mean, are they included in the rate increase or are they extra?
Doesn't say. It
Doesn't say, does it?
Any contribution the council makes would also have an impact on rates increases.
So I assume it's probably not in the at the moment.
I think it's probably not there, but so that's a bit, oh yeah, able to check, Faye, on that. If we say yes, these are important, is it coming out of this year's budget and has it been included? I don't know, because the rate, I mean, I'm very keen on retaining them, but I think it should be a targeted rate. That's a special rate for each building.
Yeah, so it's saying here,
Something like important, worth pursuing if funding can be secured.
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Helen, it says in the LTP, council's committed 20 million to the provincial chambers and 10 million raised for our targeted
Long-term
rate for
plan, is it?
Christchurch Cathedral.
Okay,
We
so
have
it's an
not
indication.
committed additional funding. So it's an extra $290 million.
290.
Yeah.
That's from all sources though.
Correct, yeah. But it would have an
Government.
impact on rates, it's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the amount though that we are not, I mean, I'm not going back on this, but it's 350 million was what, if we didn't spend as much on social spending. So there's a kind of, no, it's not that actually, 356,000, no.
350,000.
So I'm really committed to this, but I'm happy to be important with pursuing a funding if that is a compromise.
Pretty happy with that?
I mean, the price of 10 Hallswell Junction Road level crossing upgrades, and that was too expensive.
Yes.
I mean, it's 10 times. It's
Yes.
crazy to me. It seems like an enormous amount of money. I don't think anyone disputes that they would add value. But are there higher priority projects?
Well,
That is a question that we have to answer, and I
well,
think.
the Arts Centre, I think, and provincial chambers are the most critical ones, but look,
could you live without it? I don't think you could live without, say,
They're nice
printing.
to haves.
sorry?
They're nice to haves, and if we had the money, we would, but we don't. have
Well, the
money.
Arts Centre is critical because
If
tourist-
funding can be
If
secured.
funding can be secured.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that
Yeah.
one.
Can I just add too, I was on the Canterbury Museum Board. I've got for 6 years, there's quite disturbing stuff that went on there in terms of funding, because they had funding from government. It was 45 million. They had it from us and private and government, and they went ahead and put a door through the heritage facade. And Anna Crichton argued against that strongly. She was on the board, and then she wasn't allowed to stand for the board again. And I got on, and then it went to a resource consent hearing and lost. And Helen Clark, who was minister then, asked for that money back. And at that stage, it was 45 million. So there's a lot of things there. I'm going to put in a so if you don't have to note, but note personally, I'm going to put in a personal submission because I think it should be a loan. In fact, they should only get a loan rather than a grant.
How much are you prepared to put the rates up for, Helen?
Well, Canterbury Museum, I think, is an example of not managing their whole project properly.
Yeah.
I think it's a low interest loan. On those other three, Christchurch Cathedral, I don't know, but the Provincial Chambers and the Arts Centre, I think, are critical. Provincial Chambers is our first local government building.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a critical heritage terms.
Right.
And you'll have the heritage people arguing that too. So, but so just be aware I've got real reservations because the budget when I was there was 45 million. It's grown to 245 million. And now they're asking for an extra 9 million. So it's huge. It's just blowing out. And in my view, there's a lot of issues around management there. But I think we don't really have to answer. We don't have to look at each issue, do we? Particularly for today. It's a general feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Well done.
And that will be circulated at the same time with ECAN one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
And if we can have feedback, even if it's due, whatever the date was, at the time we put due.
Yeah.
Because especially if you have changes, so that we can see that back to the rest of the board and give them time. So come back to us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident what's been discussed and is really good.
Yeah.
When have you got to have it in by?
27th.
23rd, is it?
27th.
27th.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
on the front page.
And I'll have to get my personal one on Canterbury Museum.
Good.
That's good.
Oh, there was two other things in there. There was the grant to the Air Force Museum, which was 5 million, and then there's 15 to the Eco
Yes,
Kids.
that was the last
Yeah,
year.
which reduces rates. No, they're in this year's one.
Oh, there's.
Yeah, they're in there.
I didn't see a question.
No, they're not in there as a question, but they're on the webpage.
Mhm.
I think we'd be in support of both of those. The Air Force one, because that 5 million will lead to them building a property, which will lead to increased rates that we'll be able to bring in, so it kind of pays for itself.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other one, because it actually is a long-term cost saving for council, so it actually makes sense.
What was the other one?
Yeah, it was the
Was there anyone to comment on
organics
that?
facility. Yeah, on those two, to say that we support them. I mean, they're both on the board.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
I've got a small issue which I've just
Questions beyond.
sent through today on,
Helen, is it on the annual plan?
I just want to check on Totoki Street. That would be done or not done under this year's budget, would it?
No.
What's the issue?
It's a little section, about 5 minutes.
It's not even, I don't think it's even programmed in, Helen, hasn't it?
There's something come around on
Yeah,
Totoki.
the Totoki, they're going to resurface, but I don't think that is you're talking about taking away the deep dish
Yes.
gutters and putting it,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
not
it's a
part
whole-
of.
That's not part, it's out of
Can we
scope.
just finish the?
I mean, would it come in?
And then we'll turn the live stream up.
I mean, if they can-
Can
Fly,
can
Helen.
we
Yes.
stick with the annual plan?
It's not this then.
Yeah.
No,
No,
okay.
yeah,
But just, sorry, Cody, I just
Yeah.
didn't quite catch that. I was.
Yeah, so the board supports the grant to the Air Force Museum
Grand
because it will come back to us.
Air Force Museum and the,
Air Force Museum and the organic.
And the
Okay.
organics, because we'll reduce the rate, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was how I read it, I'll double check. Yeah. Helen, that's your issue that you're talking about.
can we talk about that after we?
Okay.
Okay.
We're fine.
Yeah.
I just added, I just don't know, we normally put in something.
It was asked about on the main Let's Talk page, but it wasn't on the questions, I think, because it's already in there.
Okay.
We usually put something along these lines. I don't know. The board appreciates the difficult job the council faces in setting a budget that meets
Yeah.
the needs of the city and its residents while keeping rates at a reasonable level and acknowledges the evidence of staff and
Efforts.
councillors.
Yeah, great idea.
Efforts.
Good.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
all good, and so we'll just wait for that to be circulated and we are done.